Don't you wish they could take that back? Some of y'all right now. Come on, fellas. Let's get in tight. Come on, huddle up, fellas. Your baby mama. Don't you wish you had pulled out? Oh, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Don't you wish you when you seen that bro, you be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to talk to her. You wish. Don't you? You wish that up. Because you knocked her up because it was good. Just having that moment, then you got that phone call. You got that phone call, didn't you? Yeah, I'm late. Don't worry, baby. I'll wait for you. No, I'm late. What you mean you late? You start blinking like that. Look. Late? Late for what? My period is late. She got 3 other kids. Don't you wish you'd just not fuck with that bitch at all? Damn. Because ever since then, you've been paying child support. You've been having to deal with that broad. Don't you wish you could turn back the hands of time? Yeah. I know. I know. Some of y'all. Damn. I wish I could do high school all over again, man. Damn. I got this bullshit job. All my friends, they got money. They got these nice houses. And I still got this bullshit job. Damn, I wish I was like them. I wish I wasn't square. I thought they was square, though. They didn't have the clothes I had. I did it big in high school. Damn, I wish I could do it again. Here's another one. Damn, I wish I wasn't hanging out with the homies that day, with the fellas. Now I'm caught up. Now I'm 35, just now getting out. It's hard out here. But I spent 10 years locked down, 12 years locked down. Damn. Because you ain't listen. You're hard-headed. Somebody told you. You're hard-headed.
What's good, everybody? What's good? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just checking my I added a special device, so I'm trying to see how it works. I'm still getting the kinks of it. As you can see, it running through the dashboard. Don't mind it. I'll figure out. As you know, I got a moderating bot now, so it's a new feature. But nonetheless, welcome to the Chaos Rain Show. I am Chaos Rain here, one and only. And today, a unique show, a special show. This is mostly going to be more open mic. I wanted to lay this out personally, because as you know, I see a lot of activities going on social media and YouTube, etc. And personally, I'm not really pleased, but like I said, every person knows and does what is in their best interest when they're putting out their own display content here on YouTube and other parts of social media and other, websites. But before we begin, please, if you're new to the Chaos Rain Show, welcome to the Chaos Rain Show. Make sure you hit the like button. Share the content and also subscribe to the channel as well. Hold on a second, guys. 1 second. Let's make sure I'm doing my housekeeping. Make sure. All right. And I'm probably going, if you not subscribed to my social medias, the social media links to follow me are the following below. Follow me on Twitter at ChaosRain7. Add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Gray on Facebook. Also, follow and join my Rumble page as well. I do have Rumble. So, please follow me on Rumble as well. CRain23 on Rumble. Also, become and join the Discord service of the Chaos Rain Show. And what else I forgot on here? Oh, I also got membership. As you know, become a member of the Chaos Rain Show as well. Memberships vary depending on what you want to pick. Usually the upper tiers are more of the more raunchier content that, let's be honest, it was so hot, it was so good, it could not be for everybody to watch. So obviously pick your tier of what type of content you're willing to watch, and you see the membership there. One other thing I do want to say before I go into this, hold on. What's this? I was preparing to print. I don't want to print this. Cancel that. All right, good. All right. And one other thing, please leave a comment after every stream or live stream here on the Chaos Rain Show as well. I do read comments. So at times, if you are commenting, most likely I will look through it and eventually give a reply. And, I keep active to the people that do support the channel, most likely. And, support the channel, you hit via with Super Cash App, or the Super Chat. Nonetheless, all will be welcome, And what else I have on here, because I want to do my rundown before I begin. I think that's pretty much it. And like always, guys, make sure to be nice in the comment and, subscribe. Okay. So, and I'm going to drop a link for people that want to come up to give your thoughts and opinions. Now, why I would like to chop it up specifically for this. And the reason I want to chop it up, because I've noticed there are people that do content on here, and y'all know the names most likely, that this is a competition now. And what I mean by competition, that there are certain set of men on the men's side that don't really want to compete with other men when it regards to content, rather good and bad. Instead of doing the work and putting out the content to get the audience that, let's say, is well deserved, they will do like other things. They will either one of two things. They'll work with women to help get you off, or they will just, send bad, malicious rumors or anything of sort of nature so people don't watch your content. Nonetheless, if you are the consumer, you always got to have your eyebrows raised for what reason, in regards why would other content creators talk about other content creators? And personally, they have not learned from other content creators, even the Godfather himself, Kevin Samuels. Now, I adopted this long time before Kevin really went in more detail about, why he doesn't move around what he does. Now, I've heard that he has taken a lot of talking points from other people that do content on YouTube. And I'm going to repeat this again for those that don't understand how YouTube really works. I hope you're listening. Take a pen and paper, write this down. And there was a video one time years ago. I know I saw it when a person was giving their ways of how to grow on YouTube. It's no longer there if you could find it. And like always, most videos that stay up are up and they eventually go. They're gone, and they're gone forever on certain websites. One of the most innovative things they say you should do, and it's a suggestion, not advice, but suggest, if you're creating content, and it could apply from any social media or any video platform like YouTube or Rumble, it is always good to imitate and steal and apply to your own content. Now, what I mean by this, I mean is if there are certain talking points that someone made and was made that either is eye catching or some that people don't pay attention, that you could use on your own display of either a video or a live stream reverting or saying verbatim the same talking points. That's one way of staying. The other thing, you could say actual videos and repackage them as your own. Now, when we repackage them, you notice the late Kevin Samuels, because he's been gone for going almost 2 years in May. It'll be 2 years. He had a call-in live show every week up until the 2021, where he cut the load to 3 days a week. And in that period, he always deals with a monologue of a subject, and after subject, he goes in and has the ladies call in. Now, I mean call in, they call in. Once the ladies call in, that's where the magic really happens, if you know what I mean. There are people that are willing and ready to sit there and wants Kevin Samuels to go in and whoop that trick. If you get me. So, that's what made Kevin, from where he was preaching and teaching men to move from men to women. And I'm not sure if you guys heard, but the front or back end story of this. But that's how it went about. So what's happened after he has gone? There are many people that are, let's be honest, don't know nothing about content creation or much as putting the time and energy to put out their own, what is on their mind, rather they show us on camera or avatars to talk about subject matters that is dear incumbents in their heart and put out as their own form or version of content. What they do, they'll take a visual of others and repackage them with unique emojis and special filters as their own. So that is the form of how you can grow on YouTube. And the third thing, if all else really works, which they work most time, or let's say they fail, you could always do what is known as reaction content, which you take something and you react to it constantly, and you take clips, most likely that's not part of YouTube, hopefully, and they will sit there, react to it. Like literally react to it. And that is many steps that people will take now. And they've been taking steps since the existence of YouTube to grow what we call a channel. Now, as all these steps I'm referenced to this stream effective, some are. But then again, you take a very much a gamble and a risk if you are taking things and you are repackaging and someone got wind of it. Like you're taking most every content. If you look at most content creators channels on the average, if I got to go there, you'll see more than 60 to 70% or even close to 90% content that is not really theirs. Well, you don't see them talk or express them on their own merit or even express on a certain subject matter by themselves, but taking others and putting it as their own. And miraculously, by doing so, this will, and by default will, grow a channel. Like literally grow a channel. And it's very effective, I tell you that much. Very effective. It's one of those things that, you know, when you're trying to start something and try to hopefully maybe get monetized and make a quick buck, that will be the more cheaper route to go. Is it always the best route? By default, in the beginning, yes, if done correctly. But is it safe where you're going to always make money for a long term? The answer is absolutely not. And the reason why I say is because YouTube, over a period of time, every quarter, monthly, a quarter in a year, which is seasons from fall, spring, winter, or summer, which is every three months or more, they go by and reevaluate what they're doing and try to change up things. Including when people are using, let's say, people that are alive or dead's content and put them as their own. And doing so, they have managed to grow their channel to a more stable position for now. But in time, by stealing, which some countries that don't have time will do so, it will be risky if YouTube decides to change up certain policies about, certain content. And right now, the floor is open now for a lot of that. But overall, it is not secure in the long run. All right, let me check what's going on. Oh, what the hell? Oh, hold on, guys. I see. Yeah, I gotta fix Nightbot. Cause Nightbot's doing some stupid stuff. It is. I don't know. I gotta fix Nightbot. If y'all guys don't see your comments, Nightbot is some reason is blocking the emojis. For today, if y'all guys gonna put emojis, try to put it one time and use words for the time being, because I'm going to reorganize it, because for some reason it's not supposed to do that, but it's doing that. So I'm gonna have to fix that. I can't fix it now because I'm starting to notice that. But don't worry, I'll fix that, because I think everybody should be able to express respectfully. I'm going to fix that. So if you have a comment, it might not show up, but don't worry. This is a new thing I had because I got moderators. So if you do see your thing, you'll see that means not, but then stop it. But refrain from doing more than one emoji every comment if you can, because Nightbot is just hiding the emoji part. So be careful. All right. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that. I don't know why it's doing that. I have to look into it. Anyway, let's keep going. So now, what more things I have to say on this? As you know, here in the Chaos Marine Show, I talk about pretty much everything that's mostly entertainment on best, and talk about some really touching subjects. Overall, I don't really talk about the politics. I will entertain it, but I am not a political person per se to really focus at. And the reason why, because most Americans, how I see it, are not really into politics unless it involves the White House. Like literally. And I'm not really in the mood to really have to start participating in politics when it starts to be who's gonna be president of the United States. It don't suit me. It doesn't suit me well. So I don't waste time talking about it. So, but overall, I don't really focus that on here in the channel. Now, if anybody that's really a student to it, I would like to have the conversation, entertain it. But other than that, I don't really make it a focus. So that's the things I've noticed. What else? Oh, another thing I noticed. If we're black men, we gonna have to work with each other better. We gotta do things a little better, personally. Oh, and as you guys come in, please make sure to hit the like button and share the stream and support the channel. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Yes. Nope. All right. Let me refresh this. I'm going to refresh this. All right. There we go. So now, and it's right there. I pinned it up top. So now, if I can recall, we're working together. That means we gotta stop doing things that really, if we're talking about getting stuff done, we have to really come to agreement with each other, with other men, in regards what we're real intention, what we're trying to accomplish. I mean, and personally, the only time you see Negroes really compete is when it's with each other, and really compete with each other in a platform like YouTube. We don't control. It's not really wise, in my opinion. But most black people, and here's another thing, I will say this in regards subscriber count and engagement. Engagement matters. Subscriber counts do matter. The only thing you really know when you really have something working is when not only you're on a live stream, but people are donating without any problems besides liking the stream. That's when you have arrived as a content creator. And as I'm seeing from the outside looking in, a lot of content creators, including me, are not even nowhere close to be there yet. But we don't like, which as you could tell from if you observe, don't like when there are content creators that have succeed to have people donate and support their best interests. And one weakness we do is we do not support our best interests. I don't think we do it enough. And we should do it more than enough. And the reason why we don't do it enough, because let's be honest, some of the people in the crowd that support the most are not really here to support, and not everybody does content on YouTube. Personally. And I say this with clear confidence why I say that, because I'm a spectator. I see what people want. And what they want is what they will do to throw what's it that's out their pocket to support their best interests. And I think most people that watch the content, regardless they think it's free, nothing's really free. So, but nonetheless, we're here, and I would expect better. And you notice I really call much names, because you know what I'm really getting at when I'm laying out my claims of what I actually see in my own point of views. One person I probably would name was a person like KS, but he was the one of much more pinnacle of success, and he has shown throughout the works he done to get him to where he is. And a lot of content creators not only were envious or jealous, but they want to be there like what KS is, and they can't because they're not willing to do what is unfortunately necessary. And I don't want to say this, but I gotta keep it real with y'all. And if you're not willing to do what's necessary, you're not gonna get the real outcomes. And not an outcome you do if you do in the work is guaranteed. That's the beautiful thing about men. We do this to hopefully to get an outcome, and it works unfair. And at times it doesn't. We do something different to get the outcome or build a better mousetrap. So, all right. So that's my layout. What I'm going to do right now, because I have nothing else to talk about in that regards. That's some beautiful. I might just keep that. What I'm going to do is I discovered something about, and I did a video on this about WWE with Vince McMahon. And one time I said about, Sable should get her money. And I do really mean that, but it's more beyond that. I've noticed, and this is what I've noticed, because this man, like most men, are very highly valued, that if they come to a position of actual power, like literally some serious power, what has happened, and I mean what has happened, is the power eventually corrupts oneself in a way where you notice now, if you notice now, he does not really run WWE, which he helped establish back in 73. Yes, he bought it off from his father back then in 73 and made it to a way where he actually chain up the businesses and make it into what we see one full wrestling stop. Now, there are other wrestling places that try to establish a wrestling organization, but some of them don't last long. They're not going to have the same success like WWE, because WWE, from what his works, help kill and destroy the competition. Like literally. But one thing I've noticed in regards to the lawsuit, and I probably will look at the lawsuit and pull it up. I'm not sure I'm going to go through all of it. And if y'all know, even the rumors back then with him with the messing with some of the employees from what was laid out, a lot of people did not know with him, with Vince, that he was married, but people don't understand a man like his statue that is high value does exercise his options. But in exercise options and not really control the situation, it really burned him and bite him in his backside in the end. To those that did not know, it hurt him at the end, like literally. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to play audio. I was gonna play a video, but I don't have time to pull up the video, so I'll do the audio. Some scenarios that one particular wrestler or manager that worked at the time came with their own conclusions. And let me find it. Is this the one? No. And this is from, I think, by Vince Russo, his conclusions, because really, truly, one thing is evident: if you're doing some scandalous behavior within your workforce with employees, which are women and men, it might have been cool back in the 90s, but it was not cool up to the late 2010s. And it all came back haunting him. So when Vince had to step down or sell his share, so at the company itself could still be valuable. Personally, I don't think he was ever going to stop being the CEO of WWE, in my opinion. I think in him, because he's 76 going on 77, he was going to really run this company until he actually hits the dirt, in my opinion. But because, like most men of stature power, it got to him. And now it come back to haunt him to the point where for him to say what he has built, he had to let it go eventually. But here are some scenarios that you're going to listen to now that might have conclude or what they consider a conspiracy of getting him out. And I'm just going to use the word conspiracy theory very loosely, because personally, in my opinion, if you have to really conspire something, it's already too late. By the late great Amos Wilson. If you think that everything is a conspiracy theory, then obviously it's already too late. It's already happened. But I'm gonna let you listen for yourself. So make sure you guys turn up your mic, and I'm gonna listen to my end to see what's going on. I know this is unexpected, and I will, drop the link and we'll chop it up on this and maybe I said. Let's listen in. And let me make sure I get this thing set up. All right, it's set up now, so. Let me see. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can hear this. And now I'm going to probably run this on another device. I might have to, because it's not going to play well on here. I'm going to test this. Where is it? And as I'm trying to get this set up, please hit the like button and share the stream. Okay, here it is. Remember the No, that's not it. I gotta make sure I can hear myself. Remember the No, that's not it. All right, so I'm gonna make sure I can hear myself. I'm gonna test it. Let's test it how good it is. All right. So it's not working, which I expected. So now I'm going to probably play it from the phone. All right. So it's not working. So let's do this. I'm going to pause it occasionally, give some commentary. All right. There might be some language, so we'll do fair use for this one. We're going to definitely do fair use for this one. All right. Let's listen in. Listen closely, and please support the channel and like stream. Remember the interview Ari did next to Vince, propping him up. Oh, we made this deal because of Vince. My 20-year friendship because of it. We wouldn't have done it. Propping him up, bro. This is like Goodfellas. Only to freaking set him up. Now they get the deal with Netflix. Bro, you ain't getting any of this $5 billion, bro. We're gonna clear the deck. You're out of here, bro. Come on, guys. What is going on, everybody? This is the... So this is very catchy because I came across this, and I, like many people, have watched it. It made news on many stations, and because of this, and I said because of this, a lot of speculation saying that there was a lot of really foul behavior going on in the WWE in regards to sexual behaviors in the company. And because this, yeah, it almost demolished the WWE completely. And the lady in Connecticut that says she was 19, but come to find out, this woman is around her 40s. For a period of maybe, let's say, a year or two, being around Vince since 2019, was doing all this. And she was, unfortunately, by choice, because there are no victims, they're only volunteers at the end of the day. But because, you as like most ladies, volunteered to do this, regardless you're going to be homeless or wherever the circumstance, you put yourself in harm's way amongst men that will chew you up and eat you and feed you to the wolves. Unfortunately. So let's have a listen now to the actual rundown and really what was speculated about what really led to the demise. So make sure you turn your volumes up, listen carefully. So hold on. All right, here we go. Well, man, I'm well. Let's get right into it, man. We got a lot to talk about. All right, so let's talk about Ronda Rousey. You have mentioned Ronda Rousey's tweets before, and we haven't really had the time to talk much into it. But we're going to talk more about it today. So this is what she said. She said... Now, this is one woman. Now, I'm not sure what Ronda Rousey has something to do with it, but we all know a lot of women, and trust me, they got a whole lot of women that are fit, muscular, not too fat, around in their little trunks and provocative outfits, paraded in the ring, wrestling and beating their brains out. It would make sense that a lot of wrestlers will be fraternizing with the employees, if you know what I mean. Well, let's listen to Ronda Rousey. Let's listen carefully.
Bruce Pritchard is basically Vince's avatar. If he's still around, Vince still has a hand in the business. Vince was still running things through Bruce when he was gone, quote, gone before. So, with that being said, Vince Russo, you have worked with Vince very closely, of course. You have worked with Bruce Pritchard very closely before. You've mentioned on our shows briefly that verifying this particular post. What are your more extensive thoughts and the veracity of this particular tweet regarding Vince Russo and Bruce Pritchard?
She's dead on.
Yeah. And another thing, as I was coming across this video, there was another video of one woman that they said commit suicide now almost 5 years ago in May, which I think her name was what's her name again? Let me find her name. Damn, I had it. 1 second, guys. I gotta find her name. Let me pull up here. I think her name was Ashley. Oh, Ashley Massaro. And there are articles of her too that for some reason starting to repurpose and pop back up again, ironically. And the reason why I pop up because he has stepped down and he's gonna face more serious issues, all what that was in the closet is now being revealed. And now it has to be put in question because this woman that actually came out, and for extensive purpose, if you think about it, isn't it ironic a woman that's not a wrestler from WWE was the one that actually helped bring down WWE as a corporation by taking down Vince McMahon? Ain't that something? Ain't that something? I'm just saying. But let's listen more into this.
This particular tweet regarding Vince Russo and Bruce Pritchard.
She's dead on, bro. Bruce Pritchard was Vince McMahon's eyes and ears going back to the 80s. And it was no secret. Everybody knew. So when she's putting that tweet on, she's dead on. But bro, when you start looking at things now, and when you start looking at the timeline and the series of events that happened, man, I'm starting to believe there could possibly be a whole other side to this story where Vince was the man on the out. I mean, Vince got worked, perhaps, because bro, let's look at the series of events now, because now things are starting to fall into place, which are like, wait a minute. Number one,
yeah, and you always had that right hand man that you could trust, and I think Vince had people that he really trusted. Yeah, I'm convinced the WWE that people that are close to him or people that are employees that work there knew what he was doing. They knew very well. To the point where, some of them could be, possibly liable. And I say possibly liable, not really liable as well, during all this that came down back a couple months ago of 2023. There's a saying that, power do corrupt other powers, but if you're a person that's power, live in a society that is, unfortunately, in a cancel culture with the assistance of people, i.e. women mostly, you as a man, either top tier or low or middle tier man, is always put on serious risks when you go out here and abuse your own power or ways to coerce to get what you want in regards the sexual access of ladies. So let's listen more.
Series of events now, because now things are starting to fall into place, which are like, wait a minute. Number one, Kevin Dunn, after 30 years, resigns. So now, did Kevin Dunn know something was going down the pike? Was Kevin Dunn said, bro, you need to resign, otherwise you're going to be a part of this? Whatever the case may be, you know, many people who worked at the WWE would have told you Kevin Dunn was a lifer. He would have never left that job until he couldn't do it anymore. So Kevin Dunn leaves. Then what happens, bro? The Netflix deal goes down. What happens after the Netflix deal?
Now, mind you, I did not know they inked a deal with Netflix. I thought it was another corporation they inked with. And if I go back and look at it again, yes, by next year, they're going to still play some shows on Peacock, but really, truly, they're going to be on Netflix or most of their material. And Netflix, to be honest with you, made a very much a smart business move. Because you know how much viewers the WWE gross for the last more than 20 years now? And I'm not saying last 5 or 10 years, but 20 years, because remember, they were the only top dog in the business that if you're a wrestler, you might go to these other low-level wrestling companies to get your numbers up, but really, to really make money, you're going to have to be working with WWE. Like, literally, you're going to have to be working for them to really make really millions of dollars. Now, I know we have other wrestling companies like AEW and some other ones that I can't name off, but they're nowhere compared to the WWE in regards of buying out the competition, which they did, because they're able to beat them with ratings and, you know, doing what it takes to really beat the competition. That means if you remember the Attitude Era, which really established in 97, really, not 96, but 1997, because at the time, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash was still a part of WCW up until that year when they left in 96. So going on to the roughly next year, they had to do something different. And thus behold, they will have to pull it all out and become very raunchy and raw and rugged. And there's also Ruthless Aggression era, which I can't talk on, but I only remember the Attitude and some other era after that in early part of 2000. I would say around 2001 or 2, I think I stopped watching wrestling in its entirely. Up to the reason why I stopped watching wrestling, personally, honestly, yes, that was said. I'm hosting 97. Correct. That's what I said. 1997. The reason why I actually stopped. Oh, you're right. And one thing, if you notice the guy that used to play the dentist back in the early 90s, the guy that you now we call Kane, he remarketed himself because at the time, and I forgot what his name is. I think he's mayor of Tennessee. Is because at the time he did not know what direction to go in regards how he want to take his wrestling career. And like always, for you to make it big, you're going to make yourself something more than something else. And lo and behold, I'm not sure if Kane came up with the gimmick. I think he did, or the person that played Kane, had to make a gimmick of an alter ego besides the Undertaker. And to me, the reason why that worked much more better because they always put rumors that Undertaker had a brother. And lo and behold, they said, we'll make this brother you because you're almost the same height, maybe an inch shorter than Undertaker. You have the size, you have the physique. All you need is an actual character that people will stick. And lo and behold, Kane came in existence in 1997. And at the time, I forgot his real name. He just turned 30 when he really turned around as a wrestler at that time. And it worked because the Kane gimmick, you can go anywhere with Kane for the last now 26 years. Isaac, Isaac. Yes, that's him. Correct. All right, let's keep listening. Kind of want to hold y'all up. Let's listen more.
Netflix deal goes down. Rock is named on the board. What happens after Rock is named on the board? Vince is ousted. Now I'm just reading today. Now Pritchard is going in for tricep surgery. Bro, this is the busiest time of the year. Okay, this time of the year, Bruce would not be getting surgery now. He'd be putting surgery off till WrestleMania was over. This is the busiest time of the year. So now, all of a sudden, Bruce Pritchard is going to be gone for a while and he's getting tricep surgery. There's a lot here, bro, that, like, man, it's just starting to look real fishy. And you got to ask yourself the question, man, was Vince set up? When Ari bought...
Now, mind you, now this is where the conspiracy lies. And yes, Hustle Muscle, Glenn Jacobs, that's the name. And as you know, as I'm seeing people, you know, I know this is not really entertaining, guys, but I got to go there because it's something to say, because this is business, right? Regardless, we don't deal business enough as people, but we got to understand the business side of things, of how business can turn around very quickly. Anyway, let's keep listening.
The WWE, did he want Vince out? And did he, bro, TKO, they're the ones who stopped paying the NDA.
Now, TKO, who is TKO? Hustler, are you aware what TKO is? Does anybody know what TKO is? Because if I recall, when Vince was doing, as a matter of fact, he did something to a lot of female wrestlers. I think one time he had this fling with Sable. One I remember, I think some of the other stars that's come out that complain about the misconduct. That's no longer here. I think her name is Ashley Masako. I think I pronounced her name right. Let me make sure I pronounce her name right. Ashley Massaro, yeah. And there was some other women that were coming out in the dark about the misconduct of WWE under Vince McMahon. That it's more than chickens are coming home to roost. It's the sense of the father coming on him now. Like literally the sense. Anyhow, let's keep listening. And personally, I want to say it's about time. I've been noticing this for the last 3 or 4 years, but now it's evident now that whoever decides to pull the plug and get Vince out, they have the ammunition and the wherewithal to do so. Because this is my thinking. If you're doing this misconduct in your own backyard, like literally, why are you? I understand why you're using another party to shield yourself from your little, ways, your perverted ways. But come on, man, you put yourself at great risk when you're dealing with women in the workforce. And I think to a lot of men that have status and power, they think their NDA is going to hold up. And I mean NDA personally, that it's going to hold up and shield them from their degeneracy. And I'm going to say this to a lot of people, including women as well, because I know some women are doing NDAs too on their bit. I'm going to tell y'all this personally. The NDA today, as we know it, will not save a lot of Americans today. I'm convinced the NDA is only a temporary patch to a bigger problem to fix or heal the wound. You cannot patch your way from effery, especially when you're harming others. And not only harm others, but refuse to take not only accountability, but to really mend your wrongs, give them that one lump sum, and keep pushing. Now, if they decide to go at you legally, it is what it is. It's the price of doing business. If you lose, you lose. But in regards to sit there personally, do what he has done. I'm gonna read the court case, and I'm not going into detail because it's too long. That the things he was doing was ridiculous. But anyway, let's keep listening. Let's listen more.
TKO, they're the ones who stopped paying the NDA. They stopped paying her. Now, could they have stopped paying her knowing darn well she was going to file a lawsuit? Could they have stopped paying her and were in business with her? We'll stop paying you. That'll open up an opportunity for you to file a lawsuit again. Bro, there's just a lot of things here that don't add up. And like, here's another one, bro. They have this one picture of Miss Grant. And bro, when you look at this picture, this looks like an innocent 26-year-old, maybe 28-year-old. When I look at this picture, bro, all I'm seeing is my daughter. My daughter is 28.
Yeah, but from what I'm hearing, that picture that y'all see is an old picture, which you gotta be careful, people. And when I say careful, many people nowadays take pictures. Like literally, they take pictures. Not every picture you see them taking is their actual original picture you see now in person. Because personally, the picture they take today, if we gotta go there, are either a year old or even a couple years old. Because you're not gonna really know how old the victim really is. You will not know because they're disclosing a lot of our information to the public for a reason. And I've seen highlights of the picture. I'm convinced she, like the one brother on another video said that she could be in her 40s, which probably will make more sense. Because if I think about it, maybe Vince might have messed around with women that are mid to late 20s. Maybe. But let's be honest, a man of his stature could probably mess with women of any older stature because remember, the women he was dealing with, if what we want to keep real, are women that work for the company. And the women that work for the company, if you look at most women that works for WWE, are not by default fat chicks. To the exception of Nia Jax, because she is pretty fat. I don't know why I didn't let her be the big one, but that's another story. But nonetheless, most of the women that you see up here are not fat chicks. Like literally. But anyway, let me keep playing.
All I'm seeing is my daughter. My daughter is 28. Bro, Miss Grant is like she's 43 years old, bro. So in other words,
whoa, there you go. What I tell you, she is in her 40s. She was born in 1980, 80 or 81. God damn. This chick came into WWE at age 38 or 39. There are no victims, gentlemen or ladies. There are only volunteers. She was in a rough position, so she had to do what's necessary. And yes, that means she will go, if I read the documents, you're going to know what she did was necessary to get by. Let's keep listening.
In other words, when this went down, bro, she's what, 38, 39? But they're not showing you a picture of a 38, 39. They're painting a picture of, oh, look at this poor innocent. So, bro, you gotta listen. I'm not saying by any means Vince is not guilty, but, bro, like Stevie Ray taught me a long time ago, bro, when they want you out, you're gonna be out.
You hear that? If they want you gone, you're going to be gone. There's no. I agree. I agree with that. If they want you to be gone, they're going to set the stage, the plot, the script to get you out of here. And that's what we're seeing right now. On his own doing. And for those that want to come, the line's open now. You may come up. But I got to rewind this back because this is very touching. Let's listen to this part again.
So, bro, you gotta listen. I'm not saying by any means Vince is not guilty, but bro, like Stevie Ray taught me a long time ago.
Hold on, let me wind it back a little bit more. All right.
Sure, bro. All I'm seeing is my daughter. My daughter is 28. Bro, Miss Grant
He's
is
43
like
years old.
she's 43 years old, bro. So in other words, when this went down, bro, she's what, 38, 39? But they're not showing you a picture of a 38, 39. They're painting a picture of, oh, look at this poor innocent. So, bro, you gotta listen. I'm not saying by
Poor innocent woman. And like what Kea said it best.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Yeah. Can't make it up. Can't make it up.
any means Vince is not guilty, but bro, like Stevie Ray taught me a long time ago. Bro, when they want you out, you're gonna be out. And you know, it's funny, bro, because look at the history of Vince McMahon, all the promoters he put out of business. Was the rug now pulled out from under him and he didn't expect a thing? Yeah, the only reason I'm saying that, bro, I'm not saying I believe this theory. I'm saying there are two completely different sides to this.
It is interesting. It's definitely interesting that you bring those things up. My question with that, though, is with all the allegations that happened a few years back, Vince McMahon stepped down.
No, there was no allegations. What whole way back in 2019 up to 2020, what was floating around, or last 2 years, has now surfaced to something bigger. Because one thing is evident: once you get an allegation, you already marked for death. Number one, the only thing that will stop you from meeting your great demise is when the lawsuit comes in. That's when it really is the nail in the coffin. And thus, like the guy said, Russo said, they want you out by Steve. And mind, Steve Ray, if you remember, Steve Ray is one half of the Harlem Heat. Said it best, and he was right. A black man. Once they want you gone, you're gonna be gone, and that's what happened. You're gone. Let's keep listening.
Stephanie took over as CEO. And so when the allegations kind of subsided, it was a Vince comes back, Stephanie steps down. So do you think that was purposeful, that Stephanie was like, oh, I don't want to work with my dad? And do you think that Triple H and Stephanie knows about this at all?
Oh yeah, bro. There's no question, bro. You got to remember, Chris, and we talked about this back then. When they took the vote to bring Vince back, Stephanie, Triple H, and Nick Khan all voted against it. They all.
You hear that? Even your own daughter and your stepson, your what do you call it? Your son-in-law, Triple X, said no. Why? Because they know what's going to happen down the pipe with WWE. She know this. He know this. And mind you, Triple H is, working behind the scenes to establish WrestleMania 40 as we speak. Good luck to it. I'm hoping, and this is my, I can't say advice, but a suggestion. Back at WrestleMania 10, 30 years ago, one of the great few matches that was displayed was the ladder match. I think it'd be more setting foot. If you want to end this thing with Roman Reigns, I think it'd be more suited to do a ladder match, because you're not getting by pinfall. Let's be honest, that's not gonna happen. If it's going by that, most likely he's gonna still hold the top. So the best way to really end his reign is gonna have to be a ladder match, and it should be a triple threat ladder match with The Rock, Cody, and him. But this is wishful thinking. Anyway, let's keep listening. And please, guys, contribute to the channel.
All voted against it. So, bro, listen, man, I am pretty confident. the position Triple H was in, he's married to Stephanie. Bro, that stuff ain't going down without them knowing. And perhaps that was the reason why they voted no. Perhaps they knew more was coming down the pike. But that was a big deal, bro, that everybody seemed to gloss over, that those three voted no.
So basically, your theory would be Ari wanted the deal with the WWE. He just so happened to have Vince at the helm still. And so at the expense of, smoothing out the deal and making it more, clean, clean for the TKO merge and the being under the Endeavor umbrella, he felt as if Vince, a part of this, would not be the best route as far as this deal.
Oh, bro,
not only he's not the best route, it's suicide at this point in regards to really keeping the brand alive. And as you know, in business, to stay in business, you want to keep yourself not only relevant, but you want to keep friendly to the advertisers that pay your bills. And the rumor was, and this is not a rumor, let me refrain from that. A lot of corporations advertise from, what do you call it? Slim Jim and some other heavily investors that advertise for WWE were going to pull their money off of WWE if they kept Vince around. And this is like the end of 2023, guys. This is the end. So obviously it's an executive decision, which makes sense. And even his daughter and his son and his son-in-law said they didn't want him back in because of what he has done. So they well know what he was doing. They're well aware of it. They personally, when you have more people in the board, it's out of your hands, in my opinion. It's just out of your hands. So you're gonna have no choice but to, agree with the board. Now I'm not sure why the board decided to keep him around. Maybe because of the expertise he brought to the table. That's what my understanding why they didn't make the move early to say he has come back. In my opinion, that's just my answer. But personally, personally, if he has this skeletons, it's better if you keep the door closed and let the skeletons rot or stay as is. That's just me. But anyhow, let's keep going. But this is good. This is really good. All right, guys. All right, here we go.
Not be the best route as far as this deal.
Oh, bro, not only be the best route, he knew all of this. He knew all of this, bro. He knew this was coming down the pipe. Bro, again, look at the pieces now. And guys, I'm not saying I believe in this theory. You gotta, bro, remember the interview Ari did next to Vince, propping him up. Oh, we made this deal because of Vince. My 20-year friendship because of it. We wouldn't have done it. Propping him up, bro. This is like Goodfellas. Only to freaking set him up. Now they get the deal with Netflix. Bro, you ain't getting any of this $5 billion, bro. We're gonna clear the deck. You're out of here, bro. And that's why I said, bro, Ari was the one that decided stop paying the NDA. He said to stop paying the NDA. And like I said, whether he was in cahoots with this woman or wasn't, but he knew this would open up an opportunity for her to sue Vince. Bro, it's like, bro, what do you always hear, Chris? Chris, what do we always hear? Follow the money. Follow the money.
It's always about the money, baby. What else motive they have to do this? If you had the opportunity to make an additional couple more billion, and not only a couple billion, but the billion is yours, you think they're not going to take it? Oh, no, they're going to take it. And the person that's stopping them, they're going to find ways to get you out. Regardless, you have your stakes in the business. Like literally. And he had a stake in the business. I think he was like, I think he had like over 60% of the stock of stake, or actually stake of WWE. Last time I checked. So now he doesn't have none of that at all. He had to liquidate. He has to step down, probably sell his part of business to them. And personally, to me, I think Vince, and this is just me, I think he would have stayed. But he knows if he stayed, WWE was going to be finished completely. Because once those advertisers start pulling out their money, the regular advertisers, the next thing that's going to happen is the streaming services are going to start pulling out as well. Meaning Netflix would probably not have gone down. I think Peacock would have pulled out, and any other affiliate network stations will not no longer, and I mean no longer, will support WWE. And you know what's funny, me talking about this? You think now that WWE, with all the money they make, they would have their own actual network. I don't know. They should have their own network. If you're over $1 billion or so, you're gonna take that billion and establish your own network. I don't think it costs that much to establish your own network. I gotta check how much money it took. But with the name of WWE, they should not be going to third-party networks like USA, TNT, or any other city. They should be establishing their own because they run the monopoly. I don't know. That's just me. But I find it weird that if you're making billions of dollars, why are you still putting yourself in these other parties to put out your brand through television? I'm very I'm nostalgic that it's very bothersome. Man, let me keep playing this.
Bro, at the end of the day, it's all about power and money. It's all about power and money. Bro, come on, man. This guy's 77 years old. Does Ari really want this guy? Does he really need this guy? I mean, I'm not saying none of this lawsuit is not real. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying...
No, the lawsuit is actually real, and I'm reading the documents right now. I didn't read all of it, but I was skimming through it, and it is actually real. The lady's claim. She does have an actual claim. And I'm probably going to look at what is this thing about sex trafficking, because that's where they get Vince on sex trafficking, which is very much a serious offense. Like literally. Anyway, let's keep listening.
Real. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying this opportunity could have been created for this lawsuit to happen.
Very interesting. So, someone like Vince McMahon, who seemingly never gets blindsided.
The greatest worker in the world he got worked. I mean, bro, it is very quite possible that the greatest worker in the world got worked, bro.
Wow. Very interesting. So the higher power angle, over 25 years later, the man behind the hood is Ari Emanuel.
Could this woman have not, bro? Whatever is going on between her and Vince, bro, he's 77.
Theoretically, let me be short.
It's all theoretical. All of this is theoretical. But my point is this: hypothetically, could 77-year-old Vince McMahon have not fallen asleep, and could she have not gotten a hold of his cell phone?
For those that's watching, I know you guys bounce back and forth. I do appreciate those that staying in it. I mean, this is not really easy personally, but I do thank those that's watching. And for those that are even watching Cloud or anything, you can give me a dislike or a like. All engagement is unfortunately acceptable. I mean, I can't knock you if you dislike it, but it is what it is. Let me see what here. Check my chat room. Oh, and I did put the link for the call lines if people want to, chime in. Chime in. Anyway, let's keep listening. Let's keep going.
Could she have not gotten a hold of his cell phone? Could she not have written those text messages, bro, and then erased them? Because they once you write them, they're there.
Yeah.
Now, how in the world, hypothetically, how in the world would Vince prove? Yeah, that they came from my phone, but I didn't write them. How would he ever prove that?
He wouldn't. Yeah, you can't. I mean,
You can't, bro.
You can't prove it. That's just hearsay at that point, and that's an objection. I mean, in the court of law, it's just hearsay. So, at the end of the day, it will be interesting to see how this develops. I think at the end of the day, usually in the corporate America, man, there's bodies buried. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things that people already knew before it hit the fan. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, I would venture to say, based on my experience in criminology, is that
I didn't know this man was a criminology. I don't know if he has background in criminal justice, but let's keep listening.
there's a lot of people, theoretically, there's a lot of people who knew way more about this a long time ago. So
No doubt. Bro, Bruce Pritchard, I think I told you this already, Chris. Chris, I got Bruce Pritchard a job at TNA in, my God, bro, you can look it up. It was probably about 2010 or 2011, okay? My first sit down with Bruce at TNA, this is 2011. Bro, he told me Vince and Linda had been leading separate lives.
2011. So that's roughly now 13 years ago. And what he's about to go and talk about is, I'm not sure if they're legally divorced, but I noticed that Mrs. McMahon and Vince are not like together. I think the reason why they're together is because of the brand. Now, the biggest question you should ask yourself, will she now leave now? Let's listen more.
Bro, he told me Vince and Linda had been leading separate lives for years. For years, bro. So we never heard about that.
Let's say, when he means by years, that means since 2001? Or since 1999, maybe? Fair use.
Everybody thought Vince and Linda were a couple. Bruce is telling me in 2011 that they had been separated for years. So, bro, there was stuff going on behind the scenes, bro, that nobody was ever privy to.
yeah, and then you saw the paparazzi shot, a couple years back with Vince and a mistress that was seemingly a lot younger than he was, at some, I guess dinner or something like that, an outing. And so that kind of solidified is Vince and, Linda together. I mean, well, you see a possible mistress here in an outing. So, yeah.
Which is really weird, Chris, because, bro, if you're separated and not living together, and why is that a big secret? Like, I don't understand, bro. We hear every day power couples, Hollywood couples, celebrities. We hear every day divorce, separation, Kanye and Kardashian. I mean, you hear this every day. If they weren't together for decades, I don't know why that was a big secret.
I think that when you have a position, well, I know based on psychology, when you have such a prominent position of power like that, now a celebrity couple is different because they're just popular,
Yeah, celebrity couples are popular, but they still fall on the same realm. The only thing difference with the popularity is people are more attentive because they're more in the shine light, meaning they are more on social media now. They're more out there in the open. People recognize they could see, maybe touch, if give or take, what they are. So they're not really like different from regular people that are, if they're known that they're upper tiers in society, like Vince. Let's keep listening.
And they still have lives just like everybody else. They just are popular and have big IG accounts. But when you're in a power position and you have that influence and that image that you really want to protect, any type of black mark on it is a black mark to your ego. And so it's really an ego deflection when there's a separation. Oh, whoa. What? Like Vince McMahon, the person who can do no wrong, clearly isn't sufficient enough for his wife to want to stay in a relationship?
Every man has their flaws. Not all men are perfect. I had disagree with that with the brother. Like, this man's not flawed. If you're in here believing that all men are not only created equal, but there's no flaws, you're delusional, in my opinion. Very delusional. You need to get yourself examined and get slapped back in reality. Personally, that's just me. Let's listen to the final of this.
No way. You know what I mean? So yeah, when you're in a power move, you want to protect your image at all costs, man.
All right, that's it. I gotta share that segment, because that really got me to really do some actual digging after watching that. And one dude did a video said WWE is over, which I don't know if I could say that because it's still early.
A pan gets vodka.
I think it's still early. I can't really say it's over. Only we'll know when it's really over until, let's say, I give it no greater than 3 years. Okay. All right, let's see. And The Rock broke his silence. I'm not sure what this means. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. All right. Okay. All right. Let's talk about Monique. Okay. So now that you got the gist of that, now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to find the article. I'm not going to go into all of it because it's almost like over 70 pages. I'm just going to go through it and really truly see what the jits is about this as I open up another window. And this is the document. Computer don't know where the document is, so where if there is a document, I'm going to present it here because like everything. Hold on. All right. So now let's look at this. I'm gonna share this. And let me see if I got my thing on. I might not read this. Do I got the thing on? Oh no, I don't. Oh, that's weird. If I have my what do you call it? All right. Oh god, I don't have it. Ooh, that's bad. 1 second, guys. I gotta install this. Let me find the app because I thought I had it on this computer. All right, I see it. Okay, I found it. Okay. Let me find it. Okay, I found the extension. Yeah, I should check if I had this earlier. I don't have it. I don't know why it was not on here. All right, I'm gonna add it now because it's supposed to be on here anyway. All right. Okay, now it's added. All right, so I'm gonna refresh this. Yeah, I'm gonna refresh this. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. I gotta answer these stupid questions. I don't know why I had to answer these questions. All right. All right. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay, I'm refreshing now. Let's see if this will work, guys. Where's my article? Where is it? I'm gonna refresh. Okay. I gotta make sure thing's signed in. Yeah, if I sign into this stupid thing. All right. Okay. All right. Let me see if this will work now. Okay, we're in now. So let's try this again. We're gonna try this again. And thank y'all for the patience. You know how it is. You know how it is, doing this work. Okay, we're gonna look at the United States District Court for the District of Connecticut. This is because it was filed, and like I said, it's almost 70 pages. And I'm not sure if it's gonna be read here. Actually, no, I don't think you're gonna be able to read it. You're gonna see it here. So this is what I probably would do better. I'm gonna use this here. I'm gonna turn the volume as high as possible. It's not gonna be the best quality, but what can I do? Because if I run it here, I don't think it's gonna play. But let's do a test. Let's do a test. See how this sounds. All right, let's see if this will work. I doubt it will work, but will it hurt? All right, play. All right, I don't want to use that because that's not a good representative. So we're going to have to use this right here. I'm going to put it right. All right, we're going to run it here. I'm going to X because it's not going to play on my computer. So we're going to have to probably do this instead. All right, here we go. Here we go. And if you guys want to come up, the link's in the call line. And mind you, you got to keep in mind, this was her claim, what she laid out. And she kept very much all the text messages. She kept all the information on what was going on between her and Vince. And she also called out another wrestler that the rest of that she called out right now is being removed from remaining video game covers as well. They're scrubbing all of the people that would potentially demolish and get rid of the WWE. This is a purge. I see this as a purge, guys. Unfortunately, this is definitely a purge. And I'm not saying it's a good purge, but this is a purge to really liquidate the WWE as we know it. Now, will it be out of business soon? I don't know. It's going to really determine how WrestleMania is going to go and the progression moving forward for WWE. Right now, they don't have much other competition, but it doesn't really matter because once you take the head that was the one that was the head of the snake, everything else will eventually fall. And let me refresh this because it's not working now. Let me see if I can fix this. I don't know why it's not coming up. It's taking too long. I'm going to have to probably log in back. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. All right, let me do this. Let me close some windows. I'm going to try this again. If not, I'm probably going to have to read it. And I'm probably going to have to read it anyway because this is taking too long. So I'm going to read it because I don't want to hold my time. Essentially, the complainant and introduction. The complainant, Janelle Grant, through her unresonated counsel, hereby files this complaint against defendant World Wrestling Entertainment Inc., which is called World Wrestling Entertainment LLC. Vince K. McMahon and John, Laurentis. I think that's how they pronounce it. Yeah, make sure to see if everything's still established. It's still loading. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, you know what? Because it's a long document, so I gotta be patient. All right. Introduction. The plaintiff, Janelle Grant, is a former employee of WWE who was the victim of physical and emotional abuse, sexual assault, and trafficking at WWE. And now I gotta look at what is sex trafficking because I've been hearing this word, and I think, in my opinion, is now used too loosely. So let me define what is sex trafficking. I think that will explain more than anything else. So let's look this up right now. Let's see what my bot will say more about. What is because that's a heavy offense. Are you serious? Come on. Hold on. I don't know why. What is what they call sex? It says sexual assault and trafficking. Well, it says sex trafficking. So what is sex trafficking? Let's see what pulls up. And as I check, give me one. Oh, wait, let me stop that. I don't know why it's still doing that. 1 second, guys. Okay. So let me look at the definition of it. And thank you for your patience. As you know, I'm having multitask, so I could be doing this by itself. It's like challenging. All right. What is sex trafficking? What is it? And let me stop this stupid thing. How do you get rid of this? Oh. Turn off next visit. All right, hold on. Okay. Sex trafficking is a form of human trafficking in which individuals are coerced, decisive, or forced into engagements in commercial sex acts against their will. It involves the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining a person for the purpose of commercial sex acts. Does that sound familiar? Because if you notice on the videos that's being put out here, that's what Janelle Grant was not alleged, but that's what she was doing. Let's keep going. Where commercial sex acts in which the individual is completely through force, fraud, or coerce. Who's this? 1 second, guys. And I continue. And as this thing's still loading up for the Speechify, so I'm going to read it, but let me keep going. Victims of sex trafficking can be of any age, gender, nationality, or a social economic background. So no matter if you're rich, poor, etc., you could fall under and be a victim of what they call sex trafficking. And let me put the call link one more time. I forgot to put this for email, but anyway. All right. Sex trafficking can occur through various means, including abduction, deception, grooming, and coercion. Traffickers may use threats, violence, manipulation, or other forms of coercion to control their victims and keep them trapped in exploitative situations. Now, the funny thing with this, there's no really age range for when a woman or just a person generally, because I think this is more based on all genders. I don't think it's only based only on women. I could be wrong, but usually when they define words do have meaning. For those that don't know. Sex traffickers is a series of human rights violations and a form of modern day slavery. It is a complex and pervasive issue that occurs globally, affecting millions of people each year. Of efforts to combat sex trafficking includes prevention, laws, enforcement initiatives, victim identifications, and support service and public awareness campaigns. Okay. So that's the definition that's laid out of what sex traffickers are. That's their definition. And that is a reasonable. And they never said that is only based on women. Have y'all noticed that? The form sex trafficker doesn't really specify gender, which it shouldn't. But hold on. All right. Hold on. Let's keep reading here on the left after, Mrs. Grant files the lawsuit not just to address her own suffering, but also to act for those who are afraid to speak out. And mind you, she is not the only woman that is speaking out. There are countless women that is already was, how you could say, was in the business already expressing their issues already, working with WWE. And because of this, a lot of their voices have not been met, and a lot of their demands were never really resolved. And the reason why that was never resolved, because like any business, they had to keep things in-house just for the sake of making more money. Including with Ashley Masako, what do they call Ashley? I don't know, butcher her name. Ashley Massaro, where she said she got, touch while wrestling in Saudi Arabia, which is an Islam country. So obviously they're gonna get away with some degenerate stuff. Personally, be honest with you, I'm not really proud of that. They should have did some, but they didn't. So what happened is she got forced sexually on somebody and by somebody, and they didn't do nothing about it. And in return, what happened to her is she took her own life a few years later after leaving the business, which is unfortunate, but you know how things are. And let me post this here. All right. And yeah, okay. All right. And for those that's listening, right now I'm chopping up. This is open mic. Follow the stream. Listen carefully. You can come up, express what has been said or other subjects. Just sit back and, if you're ready, come up. The links in the chat room. All right. Let me keep going through this. The WWE billionaire founder, executive chairman, defends Vincent K. McMahon. Lives in a penthouse duplex in Mrs. Grant's apartment building. Okay. The two met in March 2019 when Mrs. Grant was dealing with profound grief and struggles financially. After devoting years to around-the-clock caregiver, her parents passed away. Unfortunately. That's unfortunate. It happens. The two met in March 2019 when Mrs. Grant was dealing with profound grief and struggle financially. Okay, I read that already. On the top of that, she was unemployed and her family home was lost in her parents' bankruptcy. So I think that's foreclosure. So after her family passed away, Mrs. Grant dedicated herself to finding gainful employment. I'm sorry. Neighbors in her building provided career advice and sought her assistance with personal events. Mrs. Grant used these non-paying roles and volunteer work and community initiatives to build her resume. So she had to build herself up, unfortunately. When you don't have no more work, you have no choice but to build yourself up. And thus, you're not gonna have no money for a while. So I'm not sure how she was getting by work for free at the age of late 30s. But she managed to do something. Anyhow, the building residents wanted to help, and she messaged McMahon to ask whether he would talk to her, sharing that Mrs. Grant had been through hardship and would be great things if given a fresh start. McMahon, he was enthusiastically responded, "Hell yes." Now I'm not sure if he responded because she looked a certain way. Now mind you, the picture you see, that's old pictures. We're not sure how she looks now. But for her to do sexual favors, I will have to say, personally, that's how I see it. I will have to say she probably looks attractive enough for Mr. McMahon to really pass her around, if you know what I mean. It's pretty wrong, but Wow, that is something interesting. Really? Oh, this woman is struggling financially. Oh shit! Are you serious? Stuff is real, man. That is, listen. That's real, man. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy, man. Oh, who's this in the background? Okay, I see Hustler. I'm gonna bring you up. For anybody else, guys, y'all can come up. Please come up. The link. I mean, I know. No matter of fact, y'all know the call link's open. So anyway, you there, Hustler?
Yeah, what's good, Chaos?
What's good? Let me keep going on with this. I'm not gonna read all of it. I'm just gonna go through certain details here, and I wish I could pull it up, but it's too much multitasking. But I'm gonna let you chime in a minute, so be patient. Let's see. Oh, before I go into more of the article, I just saw something that Kelsey Nicole is demanding $1 million from Travis, or she's gonna reveal some touching secrets. Interesting. The black bitch is trying to hustle, and she's trying to what do you call that? When someone is demanding money or some motel. Oh yeah, what is that? Extortion? I could be wrong. And right here, they added is fact tailored before either conference game, let alone the NIF game made them $33 million in free advertising, and they don't have to pay Taylor for it. Oh, that's right. But what if they would change if they show his black girlfriend is not a damn thing? If it's going to say, blah, blah, blah. All right. Well, anyway, let me keep reading. I'm getting distracted. All right. Where was I? All right. Okay. McMahon befriended Miss Grant, giving her hope of a new life with promise of a yet to be determined role at WWE, and showering her with attentions and insurances, along with gifts like VIP experience WrestleMania. But what seems like a dream in the spring of 2019 quickly became a nightmare. As McMahon dangles career-making and life-changing promises in front of Miss Grant, he demonstrated an increasing lack of boundaries during several meetings that were ostensibly about a potential job at WWE. He greeted her in his underwear, repeatedly and asking for hugs, and spent hours sharing intimate detail about his personal life, meaning that he has a certain way with, if you know what I mean, and I heard that this man, it goes both ways, if you know what I mean, guys. So it's pretty evident if he's talking about intimate moments.
Really?
Yes. Well, if you go back on YouTube, you have to type it as this man, one of them fruity dudes. One of the wrestlers said that, said out of his mouth that he heard that, but and one dude said he was surprised that was into women. Yeah,
I never knew that. I swear
I
I
mean,
didn't.
listen. When you're a millionaire and even going a billionaire, when you have certain money, these people are into freaky stuff, bro. I tell most women, even black women, that if you're not degenerate already, if you look for a man that's going to come up already that's already established, it is the man that you're going to have to do some things. Some things. You feel me? And things you're going to be doing, you're going to be doing things in all holes, including they're going like, you know, the thing with Cassie, with P. Diddy said she once had a train ran on her. Remember that? So yeah, these dudes are weirdos. They're weirdos.
I never knew that. Is this the same Vincent Kennedy McMahon that ran WWF for the last 40 years, 30 years?
Right, more than 40 years. He probably run it since the 70s. And I would say up to 50 years. Because when they were doing like a quick synapse of him, they show him in 1973. And at that time, I think that's when he bought it from his father. And roughly, he was in his he was approaching late 20s at the time. So anyway, let me keep reading.
Yeah, I don't think Shane was even born yet.
No, Shane Man was born. He was born in 69.
69?
Yeah, he was born in 69. Shane Man. His last child was born in 76. All right. So
that'll be Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, his last child. Yeah, she was born in 76. Yeah. Anyhow.
So she's older than him?
No, Shane McMahon's the oldest. He's the first kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shane's the oldest. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie's the youngest.
Yeah. McMahon warns Mrs. Grant to keep their closeness a secret, lest rumors led to public trouble, and add that while he protect loyal people, he had world-class legal resource on speed dial to deal with people who become a prop. See right here, this gonna get you a lot of crap because they said one wrestler that they said from what they said committed suicide. That's one woman that actually stepped out and was going to say something, and she mysteriously.
Chris Benoit?
No, not Chris Benoit. Her name is Ashley Mancero.
Ashley Mancero.
Yeah, let me show you a picture of her.
There was a wrestler named Ashley, but I forget her last name.
No, I got you. Let me pull up. And this is News Post week, so all right. And this actually is surfacing again on the internet. Let me see. There's a picture of her. All right. Here's a good picture. And this is a news article of her. So let me share. All right. This is her. Ashley Mancero.
Oh, okay. Now I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, she debuted. She debuted back in what, 2015 or something?
I don't know. They said she probably was in it longer because she was born in 79. She would have turned 40, but she died 2 weeks before her 40th birthday. It says here, Mancero joined the WWE in 2005 and was released in 2008. Alleged that she saw McMahon making out with female wrestlers in the locker room and that he sexually harassed her. Oh, okay. Well, we're not going to this arc now. Let me go into the thing that we were dealing with. Because that is that'll be for if I
when you're a billionaire like that, you're gonna get away with some shady bullshit.
Yeah, you're gonna get away with a lot of stuff. But anyway, let's keep going. As such, with McMahon pushing Miss Grant for a physical relationship in return for long promising employment at WWE, she felt trapped in an impossible situation, submitting to McMahon's sexual demands or facing ruins. Mrs. Grant feared she had everything to lose and face negative consequences no matter what happens. And let me see.
Okay, was that before or after she got hired by WWF or WWE?
I mean, she worked for them, so you obviously, if you give her a job and the first thing you do for to come in to possibly start work, Mr. Man was in his underwear. What do you think?
In his underwear, really?
Yes. Have you read the document? I mean, I wish I could put the link. I'm not gonna put links right now, but this is the document, and I wish I could. I might share screen the document. Hold on. It's like a find.
Okay, this is news to me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Let me see.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He's like he's becoming another what's that dude named Harvey Weinstein?
Okay. Yeah. Links in there.
They say he was falsely accused. I don't know about Vince McMahon's case.
All right, so let me do this. Let me find the article again. So I might as well show it since I'm talking about it. Oh, guys, hold on. I gotcha. I'm trying to find where I found it. Okay, this is the one. All right, I found it. Let me cancel. I don't know if they want us to print this out. I mean, print no damn article. I don't really care about this. I'm going to set another window and share screen this article so y'all can see what I'm talking about. It only makes more sense. Y'all got to see it to believe it. All right, here we go. Here's the article. Let me show y'all now. This is the article, guys. You know what I'm saying? It's a 67-page article. See it? I'm not going to scroll down. I'm just going to just leave this portion up so y'all can see what we're talking about. All right. So let's keep continuing. All right. After succumbing to the pressure for a physical relationship, Mrs. Grant was slotted. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Slotted into an entry-level position as a administrative coordinator, a position McMahon created for her in WWE legal department. Mrs. Grant began working in that role on June the 17th, 2019. Okay. And Mrs. Grant remained in the role with the exception of a temporary relocation to XFL Extreme Football League until McMahon verbally directed her to transfer to the talent relationship department, reported to the defendant John Laurinaitis. I think that's how you pronounce his name. On March 9th, 2021. During a conversation the same day. Laurinaitis, thank you. Laurinaitis, yep. The man explains that her presence in the legal department was effectively delayed efforts to hire a new general counsel for the company. McMahon and Laurinaitis informed Mrs. Grant that she would be promoted to vice president operation in the talent relation department, providing her with an organizational chart reflecting this decision. Right. Shortly thereafter, they informed her that they need her to begin at a lower level as a director, but promised her promotion to vice president after 12 months, which, you just don't come up. And they said at the time she was making a certain amount of money, with roughly almost 80 to 80K at the time. Up front, mind you. As what they said in turn. Let's keep reading. Despite Mrs. Grant's expression of unhappiness and attempt to end the sexual relationship, and while she came to understanding that McMahon expects the physical relationship to continue as part of her employment, she had no idea how sordid it would become, nor how the psychology tortures of physical violence would leave her feeling helpless, isolated, and trapped. In March 2020, McMahon began sharing sexual explicit photographs and videos of Miss Grant, including pornographic content he recorded. Stupid. And with other men, both inside and outside the company, including with members of the television production tech team executives, producers, and a world-famous athlete and former UFC heavyweight championship with whom WWE was actively trying to sign to a new contract, and ultimately did sign that contract. Now, the person they were talking about at that time was Brock Lesnar. Let's continue. Give McMahon appointed position at WWE, coercion was inherent in his increasingly deprived sexual demands. Coercion. Specifically, while McMahon was CEO of WWE and Mrs. Grant was employed as an entry-level coordinator in the legal department. McMahon recruited individuals to have sexual relationships with Mrs. Grant and or with the two of them. Directly Mrs. Grant to visit the defendant Laurinaitis prior to the start of workday for sexual encounters and expecting a direct Miss Grant to engage in sexual activities at the WWE headquarters even during work hours. So she was busting it wide open. Man, she was busting that, popping that thing. You feel me? Anytime they said, yo, bring Miss Grant to office. He up here, all he does is snap a finger. Underwear's off. Get on your knees. Give me that throat goat. That's how we do it. See that?
Well, hot damn.
Man said, snap his fingers. Miss Grant, get in this office now. And Miss Grant better get her ass. I know she's fat. I know she's not fat, but her narrow ass in this office and busted wide open. But Mr. McMahon, you feel me? But anyway.
Well, hot damn.
All right. All this time, McMahon ordered Mrs. Grant to keep their relationship secret unless otherwise instructed, including lying to maintain whoever cover stories he fabricated, obviously. McMahon assures that Mrs. Grant was safe and independent rang hollow in light of the efforts to isolate her from friends and attempt to chip away at her identity until it was replaced with his desired role for her as his bitch, his fantasy, and of all, his porn star. And yes, we use the word porn. Yes, that's what it said. Read right there. We're not gonna say corn or no. That's what it's called, and I'm gonna say it because it's my channel. But anyway, while occasionally intermixing soft descriptions like girlfriend and baby, even love when conventional, he exercised complete ownership and control over both her personal and professional lives. McMahon also subjected Mrs. Grant to acts of extreme cruelty and degradation that caused Mrs. Grant to disassociate and are becoming numb to reality in order to survive the horror encounters. As one example, McMahon extremely deprives depravity on May 9th, 2020. He defecated on Mrs. Grant during a threesome and then commanded her to continue pleasing his friend. Ooh. Oh God! Oh my God! This is some degeneracy, man. Woo! Oh,
He took a shit on her.
No, he defecated. We're not gonna use the word S. We're gonna call it defecation.
Oh, I'm sorry. He took a number two on her.
He took a poop on her. He said, "Hold this poop and keep getting, girl." You know what I'm saying? Let him blow your back out while it smells like feces. And I'm gonna go wash myself up. This is some.
That's some sick shit. I'm sorry,
man. Hey, for those that have virgin ears, we're getting to the late at night portion of the stream where I'm reading things that is very degenerate. So mind you, if your ears are too soft for this conversation, please, move on to the next video from the Chaos Rain Show. And I appreciate y'all watching. It's gonna get rougher. It's gonna get tough. Anyway,
I'm ready for it.
When feces in her hair running down her back while my man went to the bathroom. Oh, this is nasty. And think about it. She was doing this, and you know how old Vince was back in the day? He was in his mid-60s when he was doing this nastiness. This man's old already. You get me?
He was in his 60s taking number twos on women.
Doing this to her. I'm not sure if he does this to every employee, but let's be clear. When you up here decide to take a dump and go wash and said, don't stop getting your back blown. Keep it. What are you doing? I'm gonna go wash up. When I come back, I'm gonna finish the job on you, baby. Now, mind you, if a man could do that in front of the woman that he or a person that he's having intercourse with, what makes him stop doing it or getting bang out himself as a man when a man's game plugging him. I'm just saying. When you taking a poop on somebody, that tells you like the poop. You want the person to engage in poop with you, including hitting it in the backside of you as a man. But anyway, let's keep on. What's this? Show up the bathroom. He showered up. Upon his return from the bathroom, McMahon and his friend actively resumed their threesome, which lasted over an hour and a half, while Mrs. Grant remains covered in McMahon's filth. Ugh. When McMahon's friend left, McMahon ordered her to stay and continue to sexually. Yeah, I read it. Right. In June 2021, McMahon defendant. What they call he says his name is Lorraine. Lawrence, I think. I ain't gonna pronounce it. You know what I'm talking about. Sexually assaulted Miss Grant inside Lawrence's office. In WWE headquarters, while colleagues were busy at their desks. Behind a locked door, the two men cornered her and pulled her in between them, forcefully touching her before ultimately putting her on top of a table in between them. Ooh, she begged them to stop, but they forced themselves on her, each taking turns restraining her for the other while saying no means yes and take it. That means bitch. Unsurprisingly, others at WWE knew what was going on. But instead of intervening to protect Mrs. Grant, WWE actively sought to conceal the wrongdoing. Obviously, because he's the boss. I fire you. That's it. I mean, I'm going to have my way with this bitch. I'm going to poop in her head. I'm going to bang her in all forms of every hole known to man to fulfill my dark, lustful desires. Mm-hmm.
What kind of lustful desires does he had to be taking number twos in a woman's face? Oh my God!
No, not in the face. On top of her head. He was just sitting there
on
as
her head.
He was like put in a squat position, and there's yeah, that's how he gets down. But all right, let me keep reading. Unsurprisingly, all right.
That's just nasty.
Yeah, he's a nasty old bastard. But anyway, in January 2022, McMahon told Mrs. Grant that his wife had found out about their relationship, purportedly to avoid divorce, negatively publicity, and other repercussions. McMahon said to Mrs. Grant, time at WWE was at an end, but that he wanted her to sign this NDA to ensure her signs and, among other things, his personal misconduct. And here's the problem. Before I continue reading, and I said this earlier in the show, and you're here. The NDA, as we know it, is going to be of no usefulness moving forward in the 21st century. A lot of people say NDAs work. No, you know. If you commit a criminal offense, the NDA is not going to hold up in court. It's not holding up in court. That's why I find it very suspect. Anybody that's dealing with anybody having people sign NDAs, I'll tell people, think very long and hard before you decide to sign something like that. Because this thing is supposed to shield people from misconduct, for inadequate behavior. Now, I know athletes, entertainers, I know Lori Harvey had NDA in regards to what she does with certain people. This is not something that you're supposed to be using to cover your bullshit. You live right, you do right, you don't have to worry about NDAs. If you live a dirty life, a wicked life, yeah, you're going to be at risk. When I hear that people got to resort to that, that tells me that they're not a proper person. They have not lived proper. You're hiding. You disclose some of your degeneracy. I won't be a part of it. Anyway. In days ahead, McMahon puts Mrs. Grant under immense pressure to sign saying that refusing will not only jeopardize McMahon, his family, and his company, but that she surely becomes a public headline, suffering reputational ruins, including forms of, pornographic content, McMahon has captured and faced McMahon's legal resource. Conversely, McMahon reassures her that her signature would assure he continues support and protect the safeguard of her reputation. Ultimately, Ms. Grant scumbled to a pressure. She scumbled to be pressured to sign the NDA in exchange for payment, which McMahon later stopped making. Which the TNA people that the W was under was paying for the NDA. They stopped paying last year before they made this big move with Netflix. And I agree with Rousseau. Yeah, you walked into this, buddy. You have other people pay for your dysfunction. That was a fatal mistake. A big fatal mistake. Because now, if you have these skeletons that you keep creating under you, it's easy for people to, when the time comes to pull the plug, they can easily do now, because you create too many monsters to the point that if anything would go south, they can easily get rid of you, and they have the means to do it now and the evidence. And you think having this woman sign NDA is going to protect you? You out of your goddamn mind. Because she only was there because you're paying. Once they cut the payments off, with either your knowledge or not, that's when your end was inevitable. The end was near for Mr. Man. It was near. It was not a matter of time, it was a matter of when. So let me stop Discord. Let me stop. All right. Even after pushing Mrs. Grant out of the company and muzzle her with an NDA, McMahon continued efforts to exploit her, including attempt to traffic her to a WWE star who would be in New York City for a live event and TV taping in March. Oh, this is stupid. What is wrong with this dude? Oh my God. You still with this chick after you did all that? Dumb.
So he still kept her around after he did all that nonsense to her. God damn.
After, and mind you, him and his people they know what's and he know what's going up. They had to make it to say, yo, you got put this away. And mind you, they could have made her disappear, just like what happened to the other star, which I'm not saying is possible, but it's miraculous that she committed suicide before her 40th birthday. And the story that was going around that it didn't make sense. And there's an article right now that is being posted as we speak, recapturing that event back in 2019, now 5 years ago. So let's keep going. Understandably, defendant predatory conduct has left Mrs. Grant crippled both physically and mentally, including from deliberate symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and suicidal intentions, which that's what they want. See, ladies, let me say this just for the sake of conversation. I love you. I do. You get my nerves, but I love you. But anytime if it gets to a point that you're put in immense pressure where you have to go and commit and take your own life, I would say think wisely. Because anytime you get put in immense trauma, that's what they're expecting to happen to you. Because if you take your own life, they don't have to worry about paying out or worry about you forever. You're gone. The only problem with Mr. McMahon's case, she did not go off or go out in the same fashion as Ashley Massaro. Or alleged that's what said caused her death. Anyway, let's keep going. These symptoms led to her termination from her subsequent job running her building operations due to her inability to leave her home for weeks at a time. Despite McMahon promised reputational protection, W appeared to have leaked information that led to the public disclosure of her name by a media blogger who cited a source by WWE with the direct knowledge of the situation, which, upon information and belief, was an overt intimidation tactic aimed at Mrs. Grant. WWE has also attempted to sweep the matter under the rug, following media reports that McMahon was involved in a hush money payment scandal. WWE released a statement in June 2022 to announce that a special committee of the board of directors was investigating an alleged misconduct of appointment Stephanie McMahon as interim CEO and interim chairwoman. In the capacity of Mrs. McMahon publicly affirming her commitment to doing everything in her power to help the special commitment completely the works and the input of finding, she also declared the importance of a safe and collaborative workplace. Notwithstanding the public statement, the investigation was a sham. In November 2020, WWE touted the conclusion of the special commitment investigation into misconduct. Yet the special commitment never even bothered to interview Mrs. Grant or request any documents, despite Mrs. Grant stating that she would cooperate. In an SEC filing, the company tries to divert attention away from Mrs. McMahon's abuse of women by forcing on the technical issue of how hush money was accounted for. In the word of the company, the issue was intermittent accounting errors related to certain payments that Mr. McMahon agreed to make during the period from 2006 through 2022. So damn, this has been going a long run. He's been paying a lot of money, hush money. 2006 to 2000, that's a period of now 16 years.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. Emphasize added, through all this trauma, Mrs. Grant was enduring profound suffering in silence, feeling of exploitation, loss of security, and the fear of facing the wrath of Mr. McMahon or McMahon army of attorneys if she were to come forward and bring to light an egregious act of detailed heroin. This time has passed, and Mrs. Grant seeks to hold defendant accountable for their reprehensible and unlawful acts for her own sake and for others. Mrs. Grant seeks a declaratory judgment that her NDA is invalid under federal and state law and asserts claims other law, including the Traffic Victim Protection Act. The parties plaintiff, Janelle Grant, and Connecticut citizen of the former employee of WWE, having been working there for June of 2019 through March 2022. Defendant Vincent K. McMahon, a Connecticut citizen, co-founder of WWE in 1980. Okay, so you've been owning WWF, which now is WWE, for a period of now 43 years, because he stepped out in the December, I believe. Yeah, completely. And served on the board of directors of WWE from 1980 to September of 2023. He is currently the executive chairman of the board for TKO Group Holding LLC. 36. Defendant World Wrestling Entertainment and World Wrestling Entertainment as of Delaware Limited Liabilities Company, whose sole management members in TKO Group Holding, a Delaware corporation until on or about September 12, 2023. WWE was a Delaware corporation and with headquarters in Connecticut. On September 12, 2023, a transcript complete between Endeavor's Group Holdings and World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, results in a merger between WWE and Ultimate Fighting Championship promotion and formation of the new parent company, Totally Knockout, or TKO. Defendant John Lorenas, an Arizona citizen in the form of head of talent relationship general management of WWE, who of on information and belief was officially dismissed by WWE in August of 2022. Aimed allegations of misconduct by women in WWE. Non-party officers, employee of WWE. At all times, relevant to WWE corporate office number 2 was a high-rank employee at WWE who made hiring decisions, conduct prospective employee interviews, and maintain significant control over personal decisions. WWE corporate office number 2 works in these capacities during Mrs. Grant employment with WWE. The individual in reference to Heron's WWE corporate office number 2 at all times relevant. WWE corporation office number 1 was a high-ranking employee and board member of WWE during Mrs. Grant's employment in WWE. WWE corporation office number 1 continues to work in high-rank position in connections with September 12, 2013 merger. This individual is referenced to Heron as WWE corporation officer number 1. And at all times relevant, WWE corporation officer number 3 was a high-ranking employee, a board member during Mrs. Grant employee of WWE, and it was reference to Heron WWE corporation number 3. Let me go down. I'm gonna skip through this. Yeah. I'm gonna scroll down because I'm not reading all this. It's like repeated some of this game. Pretty boring to those that will go to this. Oh, you back? Or huh? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just skipping through this, guys, for the more important stuff.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, he always played a villain character in WWE for the sake of TV, but
yeah,
you never know what they're doing behind closed doors. Oh boy.
He really does this in real life. He really does this.
I mean, you don't think it's just another false allegations against the man? Because, you know, when you're a big time billionaire, you own a big company, women are going to get at you just to get that bag from you. There needs to be evidence against him first.
Okay, here's the good stuff. Here's the good stuff. Yeah, I'm only going to go for the juice stuff. All right. Let's go. All right. It says here on May 11, 2019, my man invited Mrs. Grant to his condo again and asked her to lay in the bed with him before informing her that he had ordered WWE Corporation Office 4 to offer her the job, even though the job description has not been firm up beyond the high-level summary. While incredibly excited to finally receive long-awaited employment and financial security, Ms. Grant expressed the McMahons that there seems to be a conflict between his doing. This is his warning to Ms. Grant that no one could know about their closeness. He appears amused with the reply, "It's my company." Yeah, it's your company for now. And McMahon then undresses down to his brief while Miss Grant remains clothed, and he begins kissing Miss Grant while inserting his hand into her, without consent. He was putting that nice little finger. And Grant has obtained 2 tickets, which I already know that. And then it said on May 17, 2009, Miss Grant received an offer letter from WWE for an entry-level job with League Administrator, which is a salary of $75K. On May 18, 2019, McMahon summons Miss Grant to his condo, and she brought a print copy of the offer letter to review with him. McMahon informs Miss Grant that her new boss, WWE employees who work in risk and governmental relations, referred to Heron, a WWE employee number 1, was a decade-long family friend of confining similar in age of McMahon and one of the small original groups. McMahon called the Titan family, who helped the WWE expand from regional promotion to global juggernaut. McMahon stated that outside of his attorney, WWE employee number one was the most feared figure of company because WWE number one usually fires employees. Beyond that, he offers little detail of WWE employee number one. The role of WWE instead of focus, WWE number one personal trauma explains that similar to Mrs. Grant, WWE employee had number one had family left after WWE employee number one spouse passed away, and that McMahon and WWE were WWE employee number one surrogate family. I'm going to scroll for this. And it says here the loyalty sent, and Mrs. Grant, and then led her to his bedroom while giving her the command of "Please don't stop this." And then Miss Grant felt coerced into engage in sexual activity, and that McMahon had trapped her in possible situation, and she forced adverse career, personal consequence, and legal retaliation if she declines his advance, which that's what powerful men do. And Miss Grant asked the protection be used, but McMahon responded that there was no need to worry about it because he's clean. So if he came out without the condom, you're gonna get it in all three holes. That's all I'm gonna leave for the imagination. And feeling that she be using for gratification, Mrs. Grant went numb and was unable to make eye contact. McMahon then flipped on his back and said, "Okay, beat him off." Disturbing by the non-consensual sexual encounters, she hopes that McMahon would cease his advance, but his advance continued and left her to fulfill his demands or lose her job. Okay. Okay, I'm going through this. Okay, W Grand career. I'm scanning through this, guys. So, and it said Miss Grant's phones only overflow with controlling and sexual charge text messages from Chairman CEO remain her both McMahon and Power in every president surveillance. Okay, colleagues share on board stories with Mrs. Grant and talk about receiving pre-made binders of information of the opportunity to shadow depart employees, none of them, which happens that Mrs. Grant nor did anyone knows what her usual title of administration meant. Okay, going down.
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's a lot. And this is not, I'm halfway, because 67 pages, and usually halfway is like 30 some pages. So now I'm just skimming through for the good stuff. Because all this other stuff in detail.
Chaos.
Go ahead.
But Chaos. Yeah, I gotta hop off real quick, but thanks for having me up here.
Yeah, go ahead. All right. All right. And it says here, number 107, as detailed, Heron McMahon was adamant about having Mrs. Grant send him explicit photos impressing upon her and part of the sexuality. Even the control that Miss Mann over here grant employment and compiled the scent of explicit photographs to McMahon's mobile device. Mrs. Grant was routinely assured that the photographs she was providing to McMahon were to remain private and were part of their secret world, which is a lie because everybody else knew about it. Well, people that's around. And it talks about here about the toys, because it says a physical injury, including, she had bleeding and pains from forceful using of toys, mind you, and Grant pleaded to cease any further sexual activities and number of sexual encounters increase, and did McMahon physical aggression during them. And now this is one thing that caught the attention of a lot of people. And they go back to a lot of videos in short about this long court case filing. Notably, McMahon was most aggressive when using certain sex toys after male WWE wrestlers and performers. McMahon named his toys so that the color of the toys matched the race of the wrestler. And what I mean by the race of the wrestler, that means he had toys like the black toy, the black phallus, which named after African American wrestlers, and the white phallus would be named after Caucasian wrestlers. In addition, McMahon infatuations would pretend that other men, and namely certain WWE talent, were in the room with them. This was yet another incredible step of desensitizing Miss Grant to his fantasy, and eventually demand that she perform these acts of, intercourse, contact with others within the WWE. Crazy. And he also have toys with the smaller size for other wrestlers as well. Ain't that something? Wow. And she got, in addition, she had panic attacks. Miss Grant began experiencing increasing severe physical, mental, emotional symptoms, including sleep disruption, dizziness, exhaustion, rashes, weight loss, hair loss, etc., including migraines. And on November, McMahon, that her doctor suggests that her symptoms stem from trauma and ongoing stress. McMahon mocked her emotionally trauma my butt. Yeah. Okay. And he has celebrity doctors, surprisingly. I don't know why he has celebrity as doctors, but that's another story. And now I'm going through, skinning through this. I'm going to wrap this up because this is long enough. Yeah, it's a lot. This is a lot. And now there's the text message. And it says that upon threesome, May 11, 2020, McMahon sent an explicit message to Miss Grant that further details his fantasy of seeing her engage in sexual activities. In the text message, it writes, and let me see how many text messages they have. They have one, two, they have. Oh, they got a lot of text messages. Yeah. I'm only give you one snippet of a text message or two, and that's it, because I'm not going to draw this out. I don't know if I'm going to do a separate show on this. I might, depending. It says here in one of the text messages, were your last picture, you need your drawers on, ripped off, and 3 big, black phalluses in all 3 holes at the same time with exclamation points. Way up your, box, and way up your backside was the booty hole. And far as they will go, but even further. And the thickest phallus goes down your throat goat. So it makes you, and cavolts, and at the big away, and feel like from the start you're being assaulted, but it made you bust nonstop. Just one continuous, consistent orgasm. And just before you pass out, those big black phalluses make you bust a load. In you. As you lay on your stomach and you bust a load out of all your holes and turn you over and, beat off. That's it. And there's more, and I'm not reading all this because this has been drawn out long enough, and I'm bored now. No, it sounds interesting. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, that is the complaint. if you want this, you made forward to this video, please hit me up on my Facebook. I'll send you the link to the actual documents. But yeah, it was right in the wall. This man is actually unfortunately finished, and they set him up nicely for the end. So it was all on him at the end of the day. He has himself to blame because let's be honest, there's no way how someone could plot your demise unless you set the foundation and the environment for your own demise personally. And I think that's what happened to Vince. And that's why he's no longer the chairman of the WWE. I hope you guys got some out of this open mic. Not much we came up, but that's cool. I'm not sure I'll do more of this. Like I said, this is just an interim intermediate live stream. Tune in for another live stream. I might continue on with the Monique thing because I think I got some votes on that. So I'll look forward to continuing that in an upcoming live stream. And I'm going to go in about the history of a certain country or island that fought back against Europeans. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, the links to follow me on the phone. You can follow me on Twitter at ChaosReign7. You can add me a friend on Facebook, Eric Ray on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook, Eric Ray on Facebook. Sorry. You could join the Discord service of the Chaos Reign Show. What else? Discord service. Oh, and become a member. Follow me on Rumble, CRain23 on Rumble, and become a member of the Chaos Reign Show as well. Links will be in the description. Looking forward to hearing. Leave a comment. Oh wait. Oh, Coach, if you're there, come up. I did drop the link. Wait, Coach, you there? If you're there, Coach, wait. I'll drop a link for you, man. Hold on. It's on the chat room, man. Yes, come up, Coach. I'll give you a few minutes. Yeah, come up briefly, Coach, before I end this. What the hell is this? Yeah. Oh, okay, I see. All right. So, like I said, guys, I'm not a wrestler. I used to be a wrestling fan, but cool. I used to be a wrestling fan. I stopped watching it in the early 2000s. And the reason why I stopped watching it because I don't find it interesting anymore. Wrestling. Wait, what's going on? Hold on a second. Wait. Okay, it's still working. Okay. So what's good, Coach?
My man, how you doing? It's been a minute.
Yeah.
My apologies. I was getting my stories done for my edition of my newspaper. I cover the sports section, and so it's production day, so I'm trying to hurry up and get all this in. But it looks like I missed all the good stuff.
Well, I talked about, my views about content creators and how content is actually done. The first part of the stream. The second part, I went and talked about Vince McMahon and certain things.
Oh boy,
more about it. And I'm telling you right now, one video said that it could be conspiracy that conspires him getting removed permanently from the WWE because the TNA or TKO stopped funding the victim with the NDA. They cut off the money, and that's when she was able to go in and put out or actual problem in front of the public, and that's what set the grounds for his complete termination. Not only as a company, but actually as a person all around. They're doing the same thing they did with Chris Benoit.
Yeah, exactly. And
to me, I know it's bad, but that's foolishness because you can't just wipe away somebody completely. And think about it. For Chris Benoit, I know it's bad what he did. Is repulsive. I get it.
of course,
Go into what really led Chris Benoit did with it. Regardless of this, is not right. Something happened with him because for a man to sit there, terminate his wife and child, and then eventually delete himself, they said he had problems mentally.
oh, I'm sure.
So, and here's my thing. Oh, now you're here, coach. It's good for you up here. Another thing I did not mention, Ashley. Let me show you out the article. And I got going to this because she says something that was very important. I'm gonna share a screen. I'm not sure I'm gonna read it, but let me do this quickly.
While you're pulling it up, what I will say is that for those who are Undertaker fans, they are now saying, since Brock Lesnar is being erased too, that his WrestleMania streak is now he's back undefeated. So I guess they're taking that as a win. I know. They just people are being funny.
And the reason that's not gonna fly because it's all over the internet.
Oh yeah, I'm just being facetious. Like people are like, since Brock Lesnar's no longer a thing either, like, oh, we can take that Undertaker loss back. But yeah, I know it don't count.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's it's become preposterous. And I'm gonna read this. This is talking about prey on female wrestlers Ashley Massaro shortly before she was deleted. And it says deleted. And this is February 9th. This is recent.
Oh,
Ashley
wow.
Massaro was accused of disgrace wrestling mogul WWE executive cover up her alleged taping or alleged take her innocence on Army base Kuwait while on tour of 2006 committed took her life in 2019. A previous unreleased statement she gave to her lawyers before her death, which obtained by Vice News, Massaro alleged that McMahon propositioned her for sex. Okay. The statement was not included in the lawsuit of Massaro and other filed against the W because the case concerned concussions. Conclusive Vice reports Friday. However, it resurfaced just days after federal authorities launched an investigation into the sexing. Alleged levels against McMahon by former WWE staffer Janelle Grant, who sued to longtime wrestler Kingpin last month. This is her. She was gone now 5 years ago. The Post has sought committed from McMahon, WWE, and TKO Group, the newly formed entity that was formed with WWE majority owner Endeavors. Massaro statement before her deletion painted a terrified image of McMahon as a predator. I feel extraordinarily uncomfortable, Massaro said, alleged that McMahon repeatedly called her to invite her to come into his hotel room alone late at night. He began calling the hotel room phone and my cell phone nonstop. I know. And Massaro, who joined WWE in 2005 and was released in 2008, alleged that she saw McMahon making out with female wrestlers in locker rooms and that he sexually harassed her. When she rejected his overturn, Massaro alleged that McMahon wrote demanding scripts for her to perform. Massaro alleged that the scripts were designed to ruin her reputation and endanger her career. Her sworn affidavit also alleged that McMahon and other WWE executives named in Grant's lawsuit John Laurinaitis, I think Laurinaitis.
Laurinaitis, yeah.
Laurinaitis, I pronounced the name, I don't know how I pronounce it. Told her to keep quiet about the alleged, touching that took place in the U.S. Army back now 18 years ago. Massaro alleged that she was drugged and taken her innocence, or was touched by a man who claimed to be a U.S. Army doctor while she was on tour with WWE Kawatu in 2006. I'm skipping through this. The woman guarded the door while they said that already. And Massaro said that she was completely helpless to defend against the attack as the drugs injected rendered her temporarily paralyzed. This is McMahon's old picture. I could tell. And I think this John Laurinaitis. This is him. Okay. Despite being unable to control my movement, I remain fully conscious for every second of the attack, she alleged. And criminal CNSCIS launched an investigation on Marina's claim. The investigation was closed in 2020, according to Vice News. unexpectedly. I don't know why. Massaro alleged in her affidavit that my man Leonidas and other executives of WWE office in Stamford, Connecticut told her to keep quiet about the incident so as not to jeopardize the company's relationship with the U.S. military. No, they just don't want the money stopped from the military. That's why they didn't want her to say nothing. I'm going to skip down. So in court papers, I'm skipping through, guys. I'm not reading all this. In court papers filed in 2016, WWE called Massaro alleged allegations stale and baseless and denied Massaro had even report a sexual assault to anyone affiliates with WWE according to Vice. And I think this is Linda McMahon. Yeah. Leonidas lawyer Edward Bernier told Vice News any allegation Mr. Leonidas helped to cover up alleged touching allegations is outright lie. Johnny, like most upper level management, sometime became aware of allegations, ensuring all proper WWE protocols were followed by including privacy for alleged victims. We object to the use of the term cover-up as such plans plots even took place to hide or assist in the alleged touching. That's it. That's it for that article. And normally there's some other points, but as the point is this, that this man, the writing was in the wall for him, and his covering up only could hold stand by who protects him. Now, obviously, if you're doing this stuff for years now, and you're paying off special people to pay the people that should be paid so they can keep their mouth shut, you have set yourself on thin ice. Because anytime anybody could turn on you, if given the right time, the right money, or right opportunity, and that was the opportunity. Because you're not paying out of pocket. Because if you were start sending money to these women that used to work for you under the table, you would get in big trouble because you have to count for that. That's the problem with people that understand about business, Coach. That this is business. Anybody that leaves the corporation or the business itself, gotta know where money going because they gotta report that. Be with taxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he had a third or other entity send the money out in his endeavor. Because if you start sending money to these women, and we could be honest, it's not only her, Mrs. Grant, that he was sending money. He probably sent money to other women that were victimized. I said earlier on an upload about Sable, that Sable could now, because he's no longer part of the business, she could ask for what is rightfully hers by Vince now. And I think right now with Brock Lesnar's situation, I think the timing is pretty much right now. Because right now they say they're trying to raise him, which I don't know how that's possible. Because when I heard about the story that she had to do a favor to get a wrestler to sign, I'm not sure why that grounds him to be removed. And right now, Brock right now is going to be soon the WWE again. You heard about it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
So they can't really raise him because he's suing them. I'm not sure that's going to work. How that's going to go well.
We'll see what they come up with.
What?
No, I said we'll see what they can come up with. Go ahead.
Yeah, because if she was doing this to him, she was doing this to other people in the business. But because Vince had to step down, we know she's gonna go through with the lawsuit. He has no money to really cover this up now, and he's not gonna come out his own pocket paying just to shut up. That's not possible.
Yeah.
And here's one thing: the real tension, Coach, I was reading earlier in the 6-7 page that she was suffering through anxiety, migraines, and she had thoughts of suicide. So they were hoping, because they let it go, that she will eventually delete herself. But that didn't happen.
Right.
That's why they commit these heinous sexual acts to certain women. Because by putting enough trauma in you, it's going to make you take away your own life. That's the whole intention they give you money. Because the trauma that you endear, and mind you, this is not a young woman. This woman's in her 40s. She's pretty much older than both of us. that it's possible she could have took her own life.
Right.
But it never happened. So now it didn't happen and the money stopped. She has the rights now to get what's right for her and make sure she gets her justice. And like anything in business, if he stays under the board, all the other advertisers were going to pull away all their money, starting with Slim Jim, all that stuff. And mind you, this all happened during the end of 2023. And usually going on January is the crucial part of the WWE because now you're heading to WrestleMania.
That's what, 2 months away?
It's right now 1 month away. He
Oh.
sent out in December. So if he stayed and they start pulling the major advertisers, it will cripple WWE. Regardless, they got this new contract with Netflix. They'll be crippled. And Netflix don't care because Netflix and they are in the business to make money, and they know that the WWE is a cash cow because they got all the eyeballs. So by signing with them is a great business move on their behalf because now they got wrestling on their portfolio. For people to subscribe to certain events on Netflix. So right now, and I saw some video lingering that said that WWE is now finished. I don't know. Only time I give it at best 3 or 4 years. See if they'll still maintain that. And really, let's be honest. Let's be fair. Right now, they're the only wrestling in town right now. Now, if there was another competing wrestling place, I would say that they will be finished. Will probably be evident. But right now, this man worked his way up to be the only face in wrestling world for the last 22 years. When he bought WCW, that really secures WWE as the number one top dog. Because the only competition they had was WCW. And that was like a generation ago.
Yeah.
I don't see no other wrestling corporation that's coming up really giving WWE a competition. Even AEW is still in its infant stage. They don't got the wrestlers.
And the wrestlers don't know how to. They got the pizzazz and all the high flyers, but their storylines are very sporadic.
Yeah, but remember, the one thing that builds a competition is the wrestlers.
Right.
How you know? Because remember, you remember, like I remember when we used to watch wrestling heavily in the 90s, especially. The thing that made it more innovating, more competition was when they brought in Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and they had Hulk Hogan. And they changed a persona create NWO at that time. That's what really gave it real competition. When they have those big major wrestlers in WWF, now WWE, over there, back in the early mid-90s. And at that time, they didn't switch to the Attitude Era until 97. So it tells you that when WCW was still an competing, they really was giving WWE the running for its money in the last 2 years, up to 98, when they start to shift a little bit because the Attitude Era really started to take form after 97. So really truly, if you think about it, AEW has a long way to go. I think the only thing that will make it more competition, they'll need major player wrestlers over there. Now the story could always be fixed. I mean, story is enough, but if you don't got the wrestlers, it doesn't really matter. You got the great story, but if the wrestlers not there, no one's gonna really give it a really. Some say this is something that they're competing against WWE because they don't got the wrestlers.
Have you watched the AEW production lately?
I've been watching some highlights from YouTube, but I've never watched a full session personally.
No, I'm just curious because I know a lot of people are kind of getting tired of the Roman Reigns bit over in WWE.
Yeah, and how I look at it now, they know this, and I think after WrestleMania, if they still let him keep the title, they're going to have to come up with something new. And I think the time is now that Vince is no longer running the show. I think whoever is there running WWE, which we could probably assume might be running it, they're going to have to start making some more innovative now. And I think they can't be lazy now because they're the only top dog in the business. They should not feel comfortable. And to be honest with you, Coach, I don't keep up with it because I stopped watching wrestling for over 20 years now. I mean, if I really sit there and watch now, I will still not be pleased because how I look at WWE is interesting, but I don't see no competition, yo. And usually when there's competition, it's going to bring real innovation on the other side. You got some feedback. Are you driving? I hear noise. What's that?
Oh no, sorry, I'm making tea. My bad. No, but well, I have a nephew that's wrestling right now, and what he was saying, what's going on with that industry is that Vince McMahon usually loves the larger than life type characters. You know, so your 6'4" freak of nature type people.
Yeah.
You know,
Or 6'3".
he
Yeah, or yeah. If
you know they've
6'3", yeah,
they,
yeah.
right they've shied away from the Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart type characters that were a little bit more relatable, but at the same time he mismanages his talent. Like I don't know if you know who Braun Strowman is.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's working still in WWE. Yeah, I think he's in AEW now. I remember he was over
Oh
there.
yeah, I don't know where he is now, but I mean, like this man is what 6'6", 6'7", 6'8",
He was 6'8",
and
6'8". Yeah.
you know, freak of nature athlete, and this man got used as almost like he had a small championship run, and then he turned to a comedy bit. You know,
that's not gonna work for that dude. I don't see him in comedy. He's too big for that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the problem is that, you know, he revolves his storylines around the old timers, at the same time burying new talent. The last time I was watching it, there was a character, Ricochet, like a high fly luchador type wrestler, black guy. You know, he came up from NXT and he rose through the ranks, and then just as fast as he rose, he dropped.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and it's like, you know, you kind of get tired of that same style of wrestling, just big men just, you know, bumping into each other. You kind of want to get some high flying action off the top rope, speed, just like it was like WCW did a good job of mixing, you know, luchador wrestlers with the heavyweights, with the cruiserweights. So you had a good match of, you know, of wrestling styles where, you know, with WWE, it's more of you're big and brawny and you got, you know, your little splashes of little guys in between. But, you know, if they don't know how to utilize their characters, because I see why everybody's jumping over to AEW, because they seem like they're more willing to work better storylines. But we'll see what they come up with since Vince is supposedly out of the picture.
Well, one thing I would want to see AEW do more is they're going to have to start getting some of the big names on WWE over there, get 1 or 2 stars if they're in expiring contract, and they're going to start to take a risk. And one thing you said, they're going to have to, their writing has to be better. Has to be better in regards to how they're going to script some of these characters. The only attraction they have is a 64 going 65 wrestler named Sting. And I'm saying, I was surprised Sting is still wrestling.
He's still going.
When he had that back injury in WWE like 9 years ago, 9 to over 10 years ago, he actually called it quits. It was inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame, but he called it quits after that serious injury he had with Seth Rollins in one of the matches. But to find out he's in AEW wrestling, I mean, it looked like he healed up properly, but I can see why he's still wrestling, because think about it, they have no attraction. If he's wrestling at this age, that tells me you're in trouble. You need to get some of those. Cause think about it, they lost Jade Cargill because they can't afford to pay her. When WWE said they got more money offered, she signed in September last year. And when I look at the catalog of wrestlers, she's the only one as a woman's side that people probably will watch. You get me? But other than that, they don't got wrestlers. And wrestlers really make or break your business. I'm sorry. You got the best writer in the world, but if you don't got the right wrestlers, it won't work.
And I was very disappointed that she debuted at the Royal Rumble and then she lost. What was the point of holding her the whole time? Just for her to beat.
I think what they're gonna do, they're trying to plan how they're gonna use her, but they better plan quickly now, because, like I said, Vince don't want to run business, and they're going to have to start shaping up, because after WrestleMania, WWE is gonna be a different animal after April or March when the WrestleMania happens. We gotta see what direction they're gonna take it. If you have this thing called the tribal tree, Dante, mute your line. You got.
Sorry.
if they got the tribal chief running for almost 3 years, you just ran the course on that. 3 years?
Yeah.
And he's still holding the title? Listen, bro, that's boring now.
Absolutely boring.
That tells you which other wrestler you could put on the line where it said, I'm going to put him as a head and go for broke. Your main wrestler should not be wrestling with a championship with this storyline for this long. I mean, I guess people still watch it, but I'm being honest with you now. If I had to go back in history of the longest storyline, I think this is almost close to that. Second to other storylines. And right now, it doesn't make sense now at this point.
No, it doesn't.
Think about it. Now that Vince is gone, you guys gonna have to really shape up the rest you have in the locker room or in the lab to see what's the next direction, because now you got keep it going now, regardless there's no actual competition. Do not be so complacent. Just because you sign this deal with Netflix for the next couple of years and it's gonna start kick off next year, that'll mean that you're gonna still be around. Because regardless we love and hate Vince McMahon, he is a real innovator. He took WWE, a small wrestling back in 19, and made it global. Well, time that's right. And mind how they did it, they dominate competition. They buy off other wrestling corporations, which is forbid him to do, but he did it anyway. And he's a top dog. And because he was a top dog, he got too much in himself to think now that he can't be touched. And that's where he goes wrong. I believe he'd be still running WWE until he died. But because of his misbehavior and his uncharacteristic directions he went off camera, caused the downfall of not only himself, but also the business that he built for the last 43, going 44 years now.
So
Right.
when did see this? How long I've been out of touch with it? When did he step down? Is it permanent or just
December?
So he letting who he letting run it?
They said there's some commissions. I think his daughter might be running, maybe, or Triple H. I gotta look up who's running now, but it's probably them, the head right now. But remember, it's been bought up by TKO. So right now,
Last I heard, he sold it to some Arabs, right?
That's a rumor, but that's a lie. Because now, if you look at who really owns it, it's run by UFC/TKO, and I'm not sure if TKO is an Arab corporation. I don't know what they are. I gotta look what they really are. But that was the rumor that's flowing that he sold to Arabs. And mind you, he sold it down to at the time because the allegation was already there. And he was already prepared to do what he's going to do with the business next. And lo and behold, a year later in 2023, this came out. And eventually they forced him to step down. His family, from his daughter and his son-in-law, said that they didn't want they were going to vote him back in. They said, do not bring him back in. And lo and behold, they kept him, and this happened, which really was intentional. Because if you have somebody pay this woman's bills to keep quiet, and they stop paying, what do you think is going to happen? She's going to now go to the authorities, go to news articles, and rat him out of what he really is in front of the public. And once Winka and she went go file a lawsuit and went forward with it, that was it. They read it and say, oh, they're gonna look at it and say he has bigger corporation back him, and this guy is a sex offender, a sex fiend. Oh no, we can't have this dude in the face of the corporation and he's abusing women. You forgot we're in a Me Too era for the last 5 or 6 years? You forgot we got this cancel culture? We can't have this crap. Him hurting women? Oh, hell no. He needs to go. Either he goes or we stop pulling all our money, and then you're going to go under anyway. So the only way for them to save the business, and he knows it, he has to step down. He already made deals with other corporations to save the business itself, but him as a person running things, that's now done. You know? To make a conscious ever said we're going to scrub you from history is ludicrous. I don't know why most of them do that dumb shit. Like people are just going to luckily forget. No one forgets. And how we know it don't forget? Because if you have certain wrestling events and you don't broadcast it, they're going to really find out why. And here's another thing that people don't know. There's wrestling games that exist. Oh! So if people want to know what was wrestling like 10, 20 years ago who was wrestling, go buy the video game. It will answer your question. And how I know, because they're
they had characters, man. 30 and 40 years, they had characters that captivated people. They kept people interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The rest, yeah. So you had, besides, I mean, you had different federations. You had different as I say, you had different promoters or what have you. But they still had characters that kept people captivated, whether it was WWF or WCW. They had characters that kept people interested in them.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I lost interest because after it's just I lost interest in wrestling because there wasn't no characters that kept me interested.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Once you get rid of characters, it's no longer interesting. Even to the point now, if you look at when WWE was in its all-time high back in the end of the 90s, going early part of 2000, is that you had to be creative, be undemanding. You gotta be loose with how you put out your material. That means you're going to have to take risks. That's what I like about WWE for the last couple of years up to 2000s. But once they bought off WCW, and I see how it was going, and I didn't really like where it was going anyway, I just stopped watching it. Like I feel, say, without WCW, it doesn't give you emphasis of really bringing out the best as a wrestler, people watching wrestling, in my opinion. Now, people watch wrestling now because they're fans. No, I look at wrestling a little different. Usually wrestlers nowadays, it's not because it's fake, but it's innovating. The wrestlers made wrestling what it is. They took risks. They do things. They're very flamboyant. Some of them probably still are, but back then it's like they had a purpose. They had to do this, or you're gonna be out of the job. Now, because you don't have to worry about that, you're lax. I remember one time they talked about the certain moves they used to do in WWE they can't do no more, and that just turned me off because think about it. No matter what you do, you're gonna still get brain damage. It's pretty evident that these wrestlers are still getting damaged. Not only getting damaged, but they're taking drugs. So no formula is gonna protect you from that. You take a bumps, you take a hit, you're going on the floor, get hit on the mat constantly. Look at the ladies. Ashley was saying that one of the wrestlers that committed suicide, right? Or deletion, right? She said that she had concussions occasionally back to back while wrestling because there's no days off. And all their so-called doctors from WWE, because they have their own doctors, right? Tells them to take this pill, keep pushing. That's the same thing that happened to Chris Benoit. He kept wrestling. He knew it was bad, and he didn't make the conscience to make the choruses really let this go. And he put in over 20 years in the business since the 80s, up until his demise in 2007. And now these women are wrestling now, and don't get me wrong, the women look beautiful. The ones that's wrestling. But the problem with these women, they're going to suffer the fate worse than the men much sooner because their body is not designed to handle taking all these bumps. They could do it, but it's not the same like a man. You take those hits in your head, those slams, it's going to cripple you eventually. I don't care how much you keep your body in shape as a woman. But we're not going to know about that until another 10 years or more. The wrestlers that really stopped wrestling, what happened to them?
I mean, right now, who are the main hitters that's holding the WWEE, the W I would say W. I'm gonna call it the WWF.
WWE.
Yeah.
We could say Roman Reigns, and I can't name anybody else. I just look at the highlights. I think he's the one that's right holding up because they said this tribal thing is the thing that's making it relevant right now, but I don't see anybody else personally.
See, that's what I mean. That's like,
and the old timers too. That's carrying them along.
Okay,
I'm thinking about
which old timers? Like who? Like anybody?
So Rey Mysterio still pops up from time to time. Randy Orton still pops up from time to time. Well, Randy Orton is still going. Bobby Lashley still there. CM Punk just returned. So, that's kind of, keeping things afloat. Rey Mysterio's son just got started, and then Goldust's brother Cody Rhodes came back.
I thought it was his son. Goldust. That's his son, not his brother. I think that's his son. Goldust's son.
Let me see.
That's the actual son because remember the grandfather, then the son, and he's a third generation. So that's Goldust's son.
Let's see. Dustin Rhodes. Let's see. Okay, according to Google, Cody and Dustin are real life half brothers.
Okay. Well, all right. Well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't argue that. Well, the point is this. These are the wrestlers now that's holding WWE for now, but for the near rest of the year going on next year, I just don't know it because right now, I'm not saying that Sean and Triple H or anybody that's there that's running things is gonna keep it going. I think what's gonna be the dilemma is these guys are wrestlers. Not saying I'm knocking what they have done in the business for 20, 30, or even almost over 30 years, that you're not the persons that's the creators. You've been wrestling most of your life. Personally, the person that really writing things of people that's around Vince McMahon, and even Vince McMahon at one pulling strings of what should be and what should not do and all that stuff that kept the business going the way he did for 40 years. Personally. So right now, and how I look at it, if they're running this tribal thing to the ground, that's a no-no. You're going to have to come up with some other big names, and you're going to have to put the trust in having somebody carry the torch. You're going to start taking some risk. And you should be starting taking risk anyway, because there's no other competition right now. While they're still trying to find themselves, you need to start exploiting other opportunities. But
I agree.
That's just me, but But I hope that answers your question, Dante.
Okay. You know what I noticed over the years I've been watching wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
For a good character, you have to be good on the mic too. You know that because I noticed a lot of the people that stood out from years from yesteryear, like you can say Dusty Rhodes, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, who else? Was that Macho Man Randy Savage, Jake the Snake.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They how they helped build their character to be a popular standout character. They was good. It was like their mic skills, their promo skills.
Yeah.
That's how I said that's how The Rock got where he is. When they gave him the mic, it was it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a wrap.
Oh, and guys, I know there's very little people that still. If y'all watching, please donate to the channel. I would appreciate some donation. If you're in the chat room, please throw a donation. Yeah, Dante. You have to be creative. I think R-Truth, if y'all knows, he's very funny from hearing from one person I talked to about R-Truth.
Oh yeah, yep.
And I think that's a good move. I don't think he's going anywhere anyway, and that's smart for him and smart for the business because you got that one edgy character that's come off the fly, and he's very much funny where he comes off the fly naturally, and he's able to get even the rest out of character. So that's a good move. What he's doing makes sense, for the business side.
Yeah, he brings that comic relief.
Yeah, and that
to the show.
It's needed. It's needed, and it's probably gonna be needed more now because now that we're not sure what direction they're gonna take it with whatever they're doing. You need every person on deck as possible to keep this thing afloat.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. All right, but I'm done with this. That's my that's me laying out what I found, discovered, and read. But like I said, it's gonna be a new day for wrestling. I think it's gonna bring. I'm hoping with this movie, it's gonna probably force innovation now. More creativity. I'm hoping this will do it now, and people are gonna have to create without the big men that've been sitting the ground floor for so long. We're gonna see what WWE really made of now. Can it stand on its own 2 feet now? That is make God. Now a lot of people say, he'll probably still have some influence. I said no, it's not gonna be the same because he's not there, like literally there. And how we know? Because if other advertising corporations are there funding the advertising for to keep W going, he can't be present nowhere. You get me? Because they see that they're gonna yank the money. Or any inclination that he still have his footnote on it, they're gonna start pulling money. Because that's the deal and the arrangement they made with the people that run WWE. That either he goes or we go. That's not what they call a threat. That's a promise. So, any closing remarks, guys?
Nope, I'm good here.
Dante?
Yeah, I came in on the tail end when y'all was talking about wrestling. I said, hey, conversation I was interested and I want to, be a part of, but nah, not really. I came in way on the tail end, so no.
Okay. Okay. All right, good. All right, thank y'all for coming up. Appreciate it.
Of course, no problem.
All right. And for guys, I know y'all didn't donate, but it would appreciate the donate will go a long way. But you know how it is. Like always, this is good. Catch replay of this, guys. Want to hear your thoughts and opinions of today's show. I will surely appreciate it. I'll be reading your comments. And please hit the like button on your way in, on your way out. And thank for anybody that subscribed to the channel and other things. Tune into the next live stream. Until next time. Vegas. Reign.